Jamal. Let me take you through all the top political news in our special Mission 2024. CBI filed 6 FIRs on Manipur violence. Fresh FIR will be filed on gang rape case. Sources say 6 rounds of talks between Kuki and Metai groups have taken place. A resolution to come about soon. BJP kicks off Mission South for 2024. Home Minister Amit Shah and BJP's Tamil Nadu Chief Annamalai launching a 6-month-long Mann Makkal padyatra. 3 accused students granted anticipatory bail in Udupi College Rao. BJP hits the streets in protest, demands impartial probe from Sidhu government. Siddaramaiah government currently in damage control mode amid discord rumours within the Karnataka Congress camp. Siddaramaiah holds a CLP meeting. The Congress MLAs seeking a release of funds. Delhi college student murdered in broad daylight by jilted lover. Body left in a pool of blood in Delhi's park, Malviya Nagar. 1 accused arrested. Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal blaming LG and the centre for lack of law and order in the state. Law Commission sources say overwhelming response received on Uniform Civil Code. Over 2 lakh responses sent to Prime Minister Modi and nearly 75 lakh responses that's come directly to the Law Commission. All right, now BJP's Mission South right ahead of 2024 polls. Union Minister Amit Shah himself launches BJP's Mann Makkal yatra, 6-month-long padyatra. Mann Makkal translates to My Land, My People. And this will be fronted by Annamalai, BJP's Tamil Nadu chief. It will begin from Rameshwaram. The padyatra is led by Annamalai and he will be walking all the way from Rameshwaram, covering 39 parliamentary constituencies in the state. The 120-day yatra will end in Chennai on the 11th of January 2024 ahead of Lok Sabha polls. Annamalai has said that the campaign will be conducted in 5 phases to cover all 39 parliamentary constituencies. In fact, Annamalai's primary concern, at least that's what he's raised time and again, is corruption in Tamil Nadu. He says that in 9 years, the BJP has shown corruption-free government across the country, and the DMK has shown its corrupt activities in barely a few months of coming to power. In fact, the padyatra has been flagged off and it's going to begin from tomorrow morning. That's Annamalai. The visuals coming in. Amit Shah has flagged off the event and it's going to be a 6-month-long padyatra with the BJP pulling off their poll pitch months ahead of 2024. Annamalai has spoken as well to India Today. Let's have a listen.
Mann Makkal, meaning my soil, my people. Where every single BJP's Karyakarta is having the slogan called My Soil, My People. Modi ji's Tamil Mulakkam, the clarion call for Tamil given by Modi. That is the slogan. So all of us are embarking on a long journey for 168 days across 234 constituency, meeting beneficiaries, interacting with them, thanking them, taking their good wishes for Honorable PM Modi ji. We'll have breakfast with them, lunch with them, dinner with them.
All right, those are the visuals that came in where Amit Shah himself has flagged off this massive padyatra, 6-month-long. Shilpa Nair has spoken to Annamalai herself a little earlier. Let me cut across to her. Shilpa, was it a pompous affair? Did we see, the images really showing hordes of people who joined in for that launch? 6-month-long padyatra, not going to be easy, but Annamalai insists of pulling it off. And this is possibly the biggest poll bugle that BJP has sounded in southern part of India.
Nabila, was that question to me?
Shilpa, if you can hear me.
Well, yes, Nabila, we are, of course, at the venue where the public meeting is currently being held. And on stage, you can see Union Home Minister Amit Shah, along with Tamil Nadu BJP Chief K Annamalai, and several other BJP leaders from the state, and also Alliance Party leaders are all participating in this inaugural session of Annamalai's padyatra, Yen Mann, Yen Makkal, which means my land, my people. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is yet to speak. And all of them who have gathered here are eagerly awaiting to listen to what he has to say. Because remember, this, of course, is a big moment for the BJP. They are, of course, trying to galvanize support on the ground ahead of the crucial 2024 elections. Rameshwaram, of course, is one of the pockets where BJP has a significant strength, in addition to other southern districts like Tirunelveli and Kanyakumari. And it is also one of the places which has a very strong spiritual and historic connection. So that is one of the reasons why the BJP chose to start this padyatra from Rameshwaram. The padyatra, of course, will span over 168 days, and all the constituencies of Tamil Nadu will be covered by Annamalai. That, of course, is the plan. But what is this padyatra going to do for the BJP? The BJP says, one, it will help them take the message of Prime Minister Modi to the people, to tell the people of Tamil Nadu the kind of work the Prime Minister has done in the last 9 years for the people of Tamil Nadu. Second, of course, is to promote Tamil language and Tamil culture. And third, to build a movement against corruption, to fight corruption in Tamil Nadu, and to tell the people of Tamil Nadu that they need to throw out what the BJP calls is a corrupt DMK government. So these are some of the objectives that the BJP wants to achieve ahead of the 2024 elections.
All right.
But most important,
well, we see
also
huge crowds there that have gathered for Amit Shah to flag off that event, and you already see a lot of excitement around this padyatra that Annamalai is going to be kicking off. Shilpa Nair, thank you very much for joining us on that. Those are the live visuals that we're bringing to you. Shilpa Nair joins us with a lot more, showing Annamalai and Amit Shah on one stage. One should remember, this is the first poll bugle sounded in south of India. BJP has kicked off a huge campaign today. It will begin from tomorrow morning and will end only in the month of January. And this is one of their biggest in the southern part of India after their loss in Karnataka. All right, cutting across now to Karnataka itself, as the government is now staring at a cash crunch after funds meant for development goes now towards fulfilling the election promises, their election guarantees, freebies, as several MLAs expressing their dissatisfaction, saying that their development within their constituencies has now taken a big hit as ministers, cabinet ministers aren't responding to their woes. There was a CLP meeting called in just to iron out all differences. Let's take a quick look at what happened.
Development takes the back seat in Karnataka as the Congress government prioritizes the use of state funds to fulfill its election freebie promises. The cash crunch had irked several Congress legislators who wrote to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah demanding funds for their constituencies. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has stepped in to control the damage. He held a meeting with disgruntled MLAs in Bengaluru on Thursday. The Chief Minister seems to have reassured his MLAs for now. Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar, however, informed his party men they might not get new grants from the government this year.
We have said them this year you may find difficult for the new grants, which is already budget has been already been closed. Now we have implemented the guarantee. They have agreed to it, and we should see that you should all the programs should reach the people of Karnataka.
During the meeting, Congress MLA Baswaraj Raya Reddy defended the letter to the Chief Minister, saying they only wanted the ministers to respond to their demands.
We just discussed about how the administration should go on. And if there are any shortcomings, CM has assured us that he will take care of it, and the Deputy CM has also assured us. And they are going to plan it in a way that even the development will not be hindered.
The legislators reportedly apologized to the Chief Minister for carrying out a signature campaign.
ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು. ನೀವು ಪತ್ರ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸೂಕ್ತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಓರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಪತ್ರ ಬರೆದು ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರನ್ನ ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳಿದರು.
Ahead of the Congress Legislature Party meet, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah held a cabinet meet where he urged his ministers to cooperate with the MLAs on issues concerning their constituencies.
ಕೆಲವು MLAಗಳು ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಕರೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಪತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ನಾನೇ ಕರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದೆ, ಅವರು ಪತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. MLAಗಳು ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಗಳಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದವರು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಣ.
The Congress government has earmarked nearly 40,000 crore rupees for the implementation of the party's 5 poll guarantees. This has hit the launch of any new development project in the state for this year. With Nagarjun Dwarkanath and Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, I'm cutting across to Sagai Raj joining us live for more. Sagai, give us a sense on the rift between the cabinet ministers and some of the MLAs. There seems to be a lot of noise within the Karnataka Congress government at this point, as there's lack of, the allegation is that there's lack of communication, no coordination, and it's just haywire. Things are all over the place because there's no money. So the government is struggling to meet with the 5 guarantees. They've kept governance to the back burner.
You notice ahead of Lok Sabha election, the Karnataka Congress had to keep clock together, and they are trying their level best. And in fact, Siddaramaiah has also addressed this issue in the cabinet meeting much before the CLP meeting, which was scheduled in the Radisson Blue Hotel, where he has asked all the ministers to cooperate with the MLAs and compromise with few things, especially when it comes to the appointment as PDOs as their PA, as well as transferring, where he has asked the ministers to go ahead and take MLAs into confidence, because without MLA support, you cannot win the election. So there are too many elections in the state of Karnataka. The days to come, one is the local election, that is the Gram Panchayat and BBMP election, and 2 is the Lok Sabha election next year. So they need the support of MLAs, and the Chief Minister has advised even the MLAs not to try to do all this signature campaign as they have done in this CLP meeting.
All right, Sagai, thank you very much. The CLP meeting was held only to iron out differences. Let's hope they've achieved that. Thank you, Sagai. For now, I'm cutting across to updates coming in from Manipur. The centre holds talks with Kuki and Meitei communities. Prime Minister Modi has deployed the Home Minister Amit Shah on war footing, only to ensure that all efforts are restored, are pushed to ensure normalcy within the state of Manipur. In fact, it's been violence hit for the last 87 days. The CBI now has taken up investigation on the gang rape case where 2 women were paraded naked in Manipur. I'm going to break that down for you and exactly the centre's push to ensure peace.
Days after the video of 2 Kuki Zomi women paraded naked in Manipur went viral, the CBI will take over the investigation in the case. The Union Home Ministry has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court giving details of steps taken to restore peace in the northeastern state. The CBI is investigating 6 cases. The agency is set to file a 7th FIR, which will be on the Thobal viral video and gang rape. The government has urged the Supreme Court to transfer the trial in this case outside Manipur. The centre filed the affidavit after the top court on July the 20th took note of that viral video, saying it was deeply disturbed by it. It had asked the centre and state governments for an update on measures taken. Sources tell India Today that the centre has held 6 rounds of talks with both Kuki and Meitei groups. According to sources, efforts are in an advanced stage to bring both communities together on a negotiating table. Sources claim Home Minister Amit Shah personally spoke to community leaders from both sides. Additionally, a few senior retired government officials from both communities are trying to bring both sides to talks.
दोनों समुदाय में बातचीत होनी चाहिए और जो भी मतभेद या मनभेद है वो दूर होने चाहिए. अपेक्षा करते हैं कि जो लोग भी इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं वो राज्य सरकार या केंद्र सरकार जहाँ से जिस लेवल पे इनिशिएटिव हो रहा है जहाँ कुछ और लोग इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं उसका आउटकम अच्छा होगा और वापस से शांति बहाल होगी.
The opposition called the decision to hand over the probe to the CBI a step too late.
जैसे अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं ना, टू लिटिल टू लेट। सीबीआई को जांच देना, सौंपना 80-85 दिन घटना को हो गए, उसके बाद एक विषय है, लेकिन पिछले 80-85 दिन से जब से मणिपुर जल रहा है, वहाँ सरकार क्यों अभी तक बर्खास्त नहीं की गई?
The ruckus in Parliament continues as the opposition disrupted proceedings on Friday as well, demanding the Prime Minister speak in the House on the violence in Manipur.
जा रहे हैं ना, जाने दो। ग्राउंड जीरो रिपोर्ट क्या है, हम सब कुछ इधर खुलासा करना चाहते हैं अगर चर्चा करते हैं तो। सर मेरा एक if they want to discuss, if they want truth to come out on the, there is no better floor than this.
The opposition alliance called India is sending a 15-member delegation to Manipur on a fact-finding mission.
मुझे लगता है ये ड्रैग करेगी, धीरे धीरे और आगे ले जाएंगे और बीच बीच में कोई कार्रवाई करेंगे, जैसे कि सीबीआई की जांच सौंपने का बात कर रहे हैं, किसी को पकड़ेंगे। अभी कहते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट, वहाँ से कोर्ट दूसरी जगह हटा के विचार किया जाना चाहिए। ये तरह तरह की बहाना और बात करके ये मसले को लघु मतलब पतला करने की कोशिश करेगी।
While the central government has underscored no effort will be spared to ensure stringent action against the accused, it remains to be seen if the CBI probe will restore trust among the warring Meitei and Kuki-Zomi communities. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now moving on, a shocking murder from the national capital has come to light, where a young college student she's been identified as Nagris was brutally attacked and killed in Delhi's Malviya Nagar. The victim, a student of Kamala Nehru College, was attacked outside the college premises with an iron rod. She was killed on the spot. According to preliminary information, the victim rejected marriage proposal of the accused Irfan, and after which, in a fit of rage, we believe Nargis, he rushed to her and with an iron rod and hacked her to death. The accused have been arrested. He's been arrested now. Irfan is his name. He's being questioned by the police. Meanwhile, politics and blame game has escalated in Delhi, with the Delhi Chief Minister himself, Arvind Kejriwal, training his guns against the centre and Delhi LG, holding them responsible for Delhi's law and order situation, saying crimes are increasing. He slammed VK Saxena, alleging that law and order has become a serious issue. There's a lapse in it in the national capital.
Right now I'm standing inside Vijay Mandal Park of Malviya Nagar, and this is the same bench where a girl was found murdered this afternoon. A 23-year-old girl who was a student of Kamala Nehru College. She was found murdered here. According to police, the girl was hit by an iron rod multiple times. And as per sources, both girl and boy were relatives, and in fact there were a lot of friction between the two families over the relationship, and in fact boy was pressurizing girl and her family for marriage, and when girl refused his offer, in a fit of rage, the accused, who has now been identified as Irfan, hit the girl here multiple times and then ran away. We've been informed that police has already arrested Irfan, and now a murder case has already been registered against him.
इंसिडेंट पार्क में हुआ है। इसमें एक लड़की है, करीब 22-23 साल की उम्र है, इसकी कॉलेज स्टूडेंट है और ये अपने किसी फ्रेंड के साथ यहाँ पे आई हुई थी। यहाँ पे लगभग यंग लड़के लड़कियाँ यहाँ घूमते हैं, बगल में औरबिंदो कॉलेज भी है और उसके सर पे इंजरी है, लोहे के रॉड से मारा हुआ है और फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन हम कर रहे हैं, लीगल एक्शन ले रहे हैं।
छात्रा कौन से कॉलेज की है मैम?
छात्रा कमला नेहरू कॉलेज की।
दिल्ली देश की राजधानी आज बहुत ही ज़्यादा असुरक्षित हो चुकी है। दिल्ली में आज 2 घटनाएं सामने आई हैं। एक लड़की को डाबरी में गोली से मार दिया गया और जिस आदमी ने गोली मारी उसने बाद में खुद को भी गोली मार दी। दूसरी घटना औरबिंदो कॉलेज में हुई है, साउथ दिल्ली में, खुले में हुई है, ब्रॉड डे लाइट में हुई है, जिसमें एक आदमी ने एक लड़की को आयरन रॉड से बेरहमी से पीट कर मार डाला। तो दिल्ली में जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिस्टम है वो पूरी तरीके से चरमरा चुका है।
अपराधियों का मनोबल इस कदर बढ़ चुका है कि विजय मंडल पार्क, जहां की हमेशा अगर दिन में सवेरे सवेरे आ जाएं तो 10-11 बजे तक तो यहाँ भीड़ लगी रहती है, 500-600 लोग लगे रहते हैं यहाँ पे, लेकिन उसके बाद भी यहाँ पे गार्ड्स भी हैं, यहाँ पे 50-60 लोग घूमते रहते हैं। अगर दिन दहाड़े इस प्रकार की घटना घटी है, इससे अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि अपराधियों का मनोबल कहां तक बढ़ गया है।
Coming across to Abhishek Anand, who has tracked the story for us. Abhishek, we are seeing a lot of political back and forth on this issue. As sad as it is, it's happened right in the heart of the national capital. One would assume heavy security that should ideally be deployed. It's outside the Aurobindo College as well. And this man walks straight to her with an iron rod and smacks her to death. Give us more on Arvind Kejriwal blaming the centre, saying they're responsible. It's the Delhi police is handled by the centre and the LG. It's their responsibility to ensure cases like this are avoided.
Well, the tug of war of power in Delhi is already there between the Lieutenant Governor and the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So the kind of allegations the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are making, the answers are being asked from the Lieutenant Governor. This is only because the Delhi police comes under the LG, and this is what the Aam Aadmi Party has been asking since long. The power, the police and the administration. So this is the time for Aam Aadmi Party. All the guns have been actually towards BJP, the central government, the central leadership. They are demanding that the LG shall be answering these questions, that how such incident can happen in the national capital, why there is no fear among the criminals that a person walks in the busy road in a very posh area and murders a girl. Though the police claim that they have arrested the accused, but the accused actually, what the sources claim, walked inside the police station after the incident was reported in the national television. This is the Aam Aadmi Party which is now making this issue bigger for the national capital. Remember, the ordinance is also going to be tabled in the parliament, and the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to make a momentum to defeat that ordinance, to keep the power, whatever the bureaucratic power it can, so that Delhi can be governed by the Aam Aadmi Party. This is the kind of political blame game started in Delhi after these murders.
Thank you very much, Abhishek, for joining us. Very unfortunate incident, but certainly concerning, because this is the national capital. So many such incidents coming to light. On that note, I'm going to slip into a short break. On the other side, our AI Sana brings to you Fact Check segment. Stay with us.
Several villages in Turbang areas were burned in the ethnic clashes, the violence and all. I see only the footprints, everything that burned to these ashes. They blame for everything that is happening here to the Cookie government.
We are only defending ourselves.
There is a literally line of this area towards the Cookie side where you have a huge number of bunkers. No one could ever imagine that in a state, in the same country, in the same district, we will ever see such situation which has become a battlefield. And I could say this is a war zone in Manipur.
Grounded in journalism, on the ground reporting, only on India Today TV. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. We see a claim that's now doing the rounds, showing a video of a Gujarat building, allegedly a building of Gujarat collapsing amid heavy rains. But the fact is that this video that's going viral is a video 6 years old from Tibet. Persistent torrential rains in Tibet triggered the building's collapse on July 8th, 2017. That's the real story. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to slip into a short break. Coming back with To The Point on the other side. Do stay tuned to watch out as I break down for you what exactly is happening in the Udupi college snoop gate. What's the truth behind the case as BJP launches this massive protest, giving this a communal angle? What more is that remains uncovered of the case? We're going to break that down for you. Stay with us.
It is never too late to chase your dream. Anil Kumar Mishra took to art late in his life, but what started as a hobby has become a passion over the years. The 70-year-old from Ramnagar in Jharkhand spends his time giving new life to waste wood.
मैं समझता हूँ कि ये कोई ईश्वरीय देन है, जो शक्ति है, जो मुझे प्रेरणा देता है और मैं इसको कार्य रूप में परिणत कर पाता हूँ.
Mishra's tryst with art started in 2007 when he was a school teacher.
गाछ है बहुत पुराना, हजारों साल पुराना गाछ है जिसमें बहुत सारे दीमक खाए हुए हैं, बहुत टिड्डा रहते हैं सर. और उसी गाछ का टुकड़ा से एक प्रेरणा जगी हमको और उसी गाछ के टुकड़ा से मैं एक बर्ड का भाव आया और मैं उसमें क्रिएशन का शुरुआत वहीं से हुई.
In the beginning, not everyone was his fan.
तो मुझे तो काफी बुरा लगता था, कभी कोई लड़ाई झगड़ा हो ही जाता था कि पुराना लकड़ी क्यों लेके आ रहे हैं. लकड़ी लाके जब इकट्ठा करना शुरू किए तो थोड़ा हो जाता था झगड़ा. जब बनाना शुरू किए तो जब पूरा बनने लगा तब बन के फिर बहुत अच्छा लगने लगा. अब तो खैर जान गए तो अब कोई बात नहीं.
Now his family and friends bring the raw materials for him.
सपोर्ट मुझे वो अगर गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कुछ मिलता तो मैं और इसको आगे बढ़ा सकता हूँ.
Mishra has won many prizes for his art. He has created more than 1,000 sculptures. With Rajesh Verma in Ramgarh, Bureau Report, India Today.
As a policy seems to be deprioritizing news. And even if I take my journalist hat off, a lot of consumers used Facebook news feeds to stay abreast of what was happening and to get a sense of what's happening globally. Just because of the kind of regulatory trouble that you got into, Facebook said, okay, we don't want to have anything to do with news, which is why, you're now actively deprioritizing news. Is that fair, you think?
If you want to find news, if you want to share news on Facebook, you can do so. I think the idea that there was any point at which the majority of people came to Facebook because they wanted to either consume or digest news was always somewhat exaggerated. That really has never been the principal mode. If you want to read news, read a newspaper, go to a news site.
From the miracle of 1983 to becoming the first-time host in 1987.
The More versus Miadad of 1992 to the Prasad versus Amir Sohail of 1996.
And then, of course, the high of 2011 with Mahendra Singh Dhoni finishing it off in style.
He finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years.
Relive India's journey at the Cricket World Cup from 1983 to the last edition in 2019 with me, Rajdeep Sardesai.
And me, Nikhil Nas. World Cup Rewind at these times on India Today.
Hey Danish, these India Today people want to do a show on Independence Day, it seems. You heard of what?
Oh, okay. What about it? What am I supposed to do?
Wait, I can't do a full suspense reveal right now, but they're still doing the lineup, but they want a singer for it.
Hey, superb. You know what? I know someone. Let me get him on the call.
Danish, what ra? What? India Today. What show ra?
Okay, 1 second. We have a singer, but we also need a dancer.
Ishna Kutte. You have not heard, huh? You check her Instagram, ra.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. Does this work?
Since we're all expressing, I think we should also have her on board.
But what do we all have in common though?
Co-powered by New Hero Zoom. Go big, go zoom. Gee, there's only one.
Thank you for watching To The Point. Showdown over Udupi College incident now escalating, with Udupi court granting anticipatory bail to 3 women accused in the case. In fact, the opposition BJP now stages this massive protest in Karnataka's Udupi against the Congress government, saying that they're trying to mishandle the case and this wasn't duly investigated. They're asking for the CBI to take up the matter for impartial investigation. Here's more.
Protest over a case under investigation enough for trial. 3 female students charged in connection with the alleged filming of a woman fellow at a private paramedical college in Udupi get anticipatory bail after the accused persons surrendered in a local court. With the woman student allegedly filmed and those female students accused of filming her in the washroom belonged to different communities. The opposition BJP has levelled allegations of bias in the police's handling of the case.
We want justice! We want justice!
आप सबको मालूम है उडुपी में ऐसा घटना नहीं होना मांगता था, अभी घटना हुआ. So we are demanding for impartial inquiry. So actually I heard that there is a lot of pressure on police people. इसलिए पूरा सीधा साधा इंक्वायरी होना मांगता है. इवन आगे इन फ्यूचर also ऐसा घटना नहीं होना मांगता है.
The alleged incident happened on July 18. An FIR naming the 3 women students and the college management as accused filed on July 25 under various sections of the IPC and the Information Technology Act. Police have ruled out communal motives.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಇಲಾಖೆಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಸಹ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಜಾಲತಾಣದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲವರು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಘಟನೆಗಳು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳನ್ನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
But the BJP still accuses the state Congress government and thereby prosecution of communal prejudice. The National Commission for Women, Khushbu Sundar, has also called for restraint. Don't jump the fence and wait for the investigation to complete, is what she said when rumors floated about the college washroom fitted with hidden cameras.
If there are rumors of hidden cameras in the toilets, please understand there's nil, nothing to it, zilch. There's a rumor which is going around, and there are false videos which have been going around that there are hidden cameras. It's an institution and there cannot be any hidden cameras. So please do not follow these kind of stories.
A sensitive case involving women getting caught in political rhetoric in Karnataka. Bureau Report, India Today.
I'm cutting across to Nagarjun Dwarkanath, joining us live from Bengaluru. Nagarjun, we believe that Shobha Karandlaje, MP, is speaking on the same, and she's claimed that there are at least 3 other girls whose videos were shot in the last year. But our question here is, if there was such an activity happening within that college premises, why wasn't this taken up with the police? Why were authorities not alerted about this earlier? And where are the victims? Where is the proof of such kind of claims made by the BJP MP at this point?
Well, that is true. In fact, no victim has come to the police station and filed a complaint. Neither the family members have filed a complaint. So there is no evidence as of now to prove that there were other victims as well, apart from these 3, because the accused in this case at least have gone to the court seeking anticipatory bail. And we have been told that the lawyers of the victim also are in touch seeking justice. But initially, when the incident happened, the college intervened and didn't alert the police because both the parties spoke to themselves and families were involved, and they sorted the issue out. And the police also said no family or the member of the or anyone from the college didn't approach the police for an FIR. So they didn't take an FIR up. Only after the pressure mounted, they filed a suo motu case, is what we are told. So as far as Shobha Karandlaje's claim is that we are yet to get any evidence or even statements or some allegations from the other side.
In fact, for that matter, Nagarjun, even this particular incident where they claim that the 3 girls shot a video inside the toilet, there is no video found. Even if they, they say that this has been happening for a while now, many of the girls have been troubled. None of the girls have come forward to testify, except for that one girl who raised an alarm when she saw the 3 girls, and this was supposed to be a prank, is what they claim. So, is this a case where this has been made into, a mountain of a mole story? Is that what this is all about? Or is it really a case where a girl's modesty has been outraged and this has been happening consistently? That's the confusion here, and the cops aren't able to crack it.
Nabila, like the police will have to come clean on this. If there was a video, if there was the video that was already shot, they deleted it later. These are the only information that the police can give out. The media has not been briefed by the police yet on the details of the case. Neither the victims have come before the media. We have tried contacting them to take their version.
Right.
Both the victim family, accused, as well as the media, all the 3 parties are quite tight-lipped about it.
All right. Thank you, Nagarjun, for joining us on that. I'm cutting across to our panelists, Lavanya Balal, Congress spokesperson, joining us. Also, Madhu N. Rao, spokesperson of the BJP. Madhu, I'd start with you. The BJP has given this a complete communal angle. We know it's a communal hotbed. Udupi is a communal hotbed. But giving a communal angle to a case where there is absolutely no proof, is it fair? We're talking about college students, they're young girls. And I'm not saying what happened is right, but this has been escalated to such a point where you'll have launched such a massive protest. You have hundreds of your workers out on the streets condemning this, saying that there should be a CBI investigation. As far as an NIA investigation is what Yashpal Suvarna asked for.
Nabila, good evening. I think I am feeling very sorry to talk about this incident because I feel really bad as to what has happened in the place in College Udupi. The issue is this, Nabila. I will just tell the facts for a minute, please. Kindly give me, because it's a very serious incident. I'm really appalled. The incident seems to have taken place on 18th, and the FIR takes place on 25th of July. And the college authorities say that on 19th, they take the phone and delete the video, so to say. And then the college authorities say that there is an apology letter which has been given by the alleged accused students. Now, if that were to be the case, how come the investigating agencies are telling nothing is there? Point 1. Point 2, why is the government or the ministers who are not the investigating officers trying to derail the investigation? Mr. Parameshwar, who is the Home Minister of the state, is a constitutional authority. He's a government. How can he say it's a child's play? I mean, for a moment, we are talking about dignity of a woman, and that too in a college we are talking about. This being the case, and there are sounds which are coming in saying that there are some vested interest acting against, and perhaps of a banned organization, there are people who are trying to do this. And if this were to be the allegations, should the investigating authorities look into several and all aspects rather than to just bury it and say it's a child's play? Any government, any citizen
absolutely
for that matter,
right
you will get
when
a
it
doubt
comes
about
to
it.
jumping
So
the gun.
therefore,
The Congress government very shamefully has called this child's play, because if this were to be true and if the investigation is still on,
give me 30 seconds.
we still cannot fully conclude on the case because we have no word from the police on what exactly this case is. But since an FIR has been lodged, the Congress jumping the gun, calling this child's play is appalling.
Exactly.
No doubt.
My only point, the question what I want to ask the government is, why do you insist the police to go in a particular way? Because the statements made by the Home Minister or any of the ministers will have prejudice for the police to do an investigation. Please don't do this, because we have seen this happening. We have seen this happening in Ajmer 1992. What happened? We are fearing such things may happen. Therefore, we are asking, let there be a fair investigation. And if you are asking me, why are you communalizing it, or so to say, my only question is it not a fact that 3 alleged Muslim ladies have done it? And I'm not telling there are allegations.
Because it's 3 Muslim girls who've done it, it's become a communal issue. If it was Hindu and Hindu, then it wouldn't have been much of an issue for you. You wouldn't have hit the streets and protested the way you have. Because it is 3 Muslim girls and 1 Hindu girl. The Hindu girl being a victim here, it seems like the outrage is of this type.
How many cases of
is
this
this a deliberate attempt to communalize it?
A deliberate attempt to communalize it. Let the police investigate in a impartial manner.
So let the police investigate. Why is the BJP as a responsible party concluding a communal angle here? All right. Stay with us. I'm cutting across to Lavanya on that. Let me get Lavanya as the Congress government is in power at this point. Lavanya, what a shame. The Congress dismisses this as a prank, says it is child's play, not really probing into the matter. While you have this, your own party is outraging over what's happened in Manipur. How could you dismiss it? It's the age of cybercrime. You have cases like this rampantly happening where girls' videos are shot and put up online. If this were to be true, then that one victim, her life would be ruined. We know of many suicide cases that have happened owing to this very reason, videos being taken up and put up on digital platforms. The damage can't be undone.
Good evening, Nabila. I would suggest you to be very careful. You said it has been posted online. It has not been posted online.
I said if.
The videos.
No, why was there prejudice even before an investigation was carried out? I'm asking you, why did the Congress even in the first place dismiss this as a prank? If the police had the phone, if they had confiscated it, if they were aware of this case at least 8 days before an FIR was filed, is this not a visible lapse on your part?
There are 10 questions. Let me answer each one of them, Nabila. First of all, you made a comment that videos were posted online. No, it was not posted online. And also when the Home Minister said...
You're misquoting me. I said if. You're misquoting me. I said if it was, the damage could not be undone. It could have been severe repercussions. My point is the government... Okay. You're misquoting me. Please do not misquote me. I said if it was put up online. The point is, allow for the investigation to take place. Why did the government jump the gun saying that this is nothing but child's play?
If I may answer?
Please, don't misquote me.
You also mentioned about how students take drastic measures in situations like this. I suggest we not discuss that, because we do not want anybody to be encouraged by public discussion.
Unfortunately, a case of this nature has happened. I'm in the news and it's my duty to alert.
Nabila, if you would give me the same courtesy that you
would, but please stop picking on what I'm saying. You please respond to what you have to say.
I am, if you wouldn't interrupt, Nabila. The same courtesy that you extended the other person. Now, all I want to know is when he's talking about police prejudice, maybe it is word of experience from Manipur that he's talking about. When the Home Minister said this is supposedly a prank, and it is an issue, but is it a big issue as big as Manipur is what he was saying, which I object to, because I feel every event is a big event when it comes to girls and their safety. Now, the question is, why does every unlawful activity take communal angle when BJP is talking about it? Why is it not about, breaking of the law and the repercussions of breaking the law? Why? What is the goal? Is it to instigate people? Is it to Is it to create communal disharmony? Or is the goal to bring justice to these girls? Let me repeat, Congress government is committed to ensuring that the victim gets the justice and the students
If that was the case, then Lavanya, we would have expected an FIR much sooner.
I'm sorry, can I finish?
If the commitment was true, then we would have expected action also at the same time.
Investigation is not going on. Nabila, what are you saying?
Do you admit a delayed FIR? Do you admit that the case was taken up with delayed? It was delayed to be even taken up in the first place. Do you admit that?
I don't understand your question. What do you mean by there is no commitment? Are you saying
no? Do you admit? I'm asking you a question. Do you admit that the police delayed to take up a case as serious as this? There was a lapse. Do you admit
Let me give you the timeline, Nabila. July 18th is when the incident happened. July 19th, the college stepped in. It was quite late in the day when the police came to know about the incident. There was a gap of, there is a period of gap when the police came to know what happened. There is a case against the college by the police for not informing the college on time.
The police got to know 8 days. The police got to know 8 days before an FIR was filed.
If you have heard me, Nabila, if you have heard me, all I'm saying is the police have filed a case against the institution for not informing them on time and for deleting the video as well. Are you aware of that?
I'm very well aware of the 2 FIRs that has been filed. My question here is, do you admit that there was a delay by the police in acting on the case? And you have the Home Minister Rameshwaram himself saying that this is a prank that's blown out of proportion. Is this not the Congress jumping the gun here?
We are not saying that there was no crime. We said, yes, there was an incident, but the incident is being blown into a communal issue by the BJP is what the Congress is saying. Why does it have to be a communal issue? My question to the BJP person is the same thing. So if the girls involved were completely of one religion, would they have not protested? Would they have kept quiet because the victim is not of a particular religion?
Mohan, please go on.
Religion matter?
It's a pertinent question considering that we're looking at, first of all, if there isn't a communal angle in this case, then this is serious. We're looking at college students now being divided on communal lines, and you could be guilty of that.
Nabila, I heard her at length. The point is this. Now look at the place where it has happened. It is nothing. It is Udupi, which is a very, very communally sensitive area.
Yeah.
And the police needs to be proactive. Point 1. Point 2. You cannot discard any aspect of investigation. Point 3. If there are allegations to say that there is a communal angle to it, it is but for natural for the police to investigate in that angle also and come to a conclusion that there is no such activity. Why is the police not acting in that manner? Point 4. My only question is, how can a police take the mobile and say the mobile is deleted even before an FIR gets registered? Are they empowered to take a phone or seize a phone without an FIR being registered? Is this how the administration goes under the Congress government? Are we to say that this is correct? Point 3 and point 6. I want to ask only one thing. We are not trying to communalize it. We are only telling there are sounds and echoes.
You have declared this a communal issue. It's not that there is no attempt here. It's you're indulging in a communal rhetoric, and it's out there on the streets. You're saying that this is a communal hotbed. I agree. I am from Mangaluru myself, and I know what a communal hotbed it is. And more importantly, at a time like that, you are instigating communal sentiments.
If the students are making allegation on TV in a particular channel, should that not be taken cognizance of?
There should be cognizance should be taken, but giving it a spin is not right.
What's wrong in that?
But Madhu, giving it a spin, if there is, where is the proof? First of all, you're saying the 3 girls, 3 other girls. You're saying 3 other girls. 3 other girls were victim to this. Many other girls were shot. Where is the proof? You're just saying things in the air.
Nabila, we are wearing the voice of the students who have aired their voice.
Where is the voice of the students? You please tell me, where have the students spoken to? Have the students spoken to the police? Is there anyone testifying for them? You're saying that they have told you, but telling you is not enough. Why does the police not know about such happenings?
Nabila, wonderful
and
question.
please tell me, 1 year, Mr. Madhu, 1 year you were in power. It was BJP in power. Congress has come to power barely a month ago. What were you doing? If this was
Nabila,
if this was rampantly done.
Nabila, you can ask this question to the college authorities. Point 1. Point 2, I want to ask only one thing. Is this how the police react? Or is this how the police act? My only question...
That's precisely what I asked Lavanya, and I completely agree that there's been full failure by the police of Karnataka to dismiss it in the first place. It's about a woman's modesty that we're speaking of. As we are very short on time, Lavanya, a quick word from you.
The only point is this.
I would like to know from the BJP people, when they talk about incidents happening by jihadis 1 year ago, was it a failure of Mr. Amit Shah or was it a failure of Araga Jnanendra that jihadis landed all the way in Udupi and were harassing our girls? Whose failure is it that our girls were harassed 1 year ago, as claimed by Shobha Karandlade and the MLA of Surathkal, Mr. Bharat Shetty, in one of the shows? He's also tweeted about it, that this incident has happened. So what was the BJP government doing when the jihadis reached all this while? And why is the BJP jumping on and declaring it as a communal issue?
Why
aren't they focusing on the justice for the girl? Why is it not about justice and why is it about community?
We heard you. Thank you very much, Madhu and Lavanya, for joining us on this. This is certainly a case that's serious. We're talking about college students. Yes, they're adults, but at the same time, they're young. This is an institution, an educational institution, where we're seeing a communal rhetoric now being played out. If the case is true that these girls indeed deliberately victimized Hindu girls, then this must be taken up with serious effect. But where's the proof? The police are investigating the matter. Forensics are trying to probe into the phone to see some videos, to find some videos. None of it has been found as yet. But of course, India Today will continue to report. Thank you for watching.
What really should be your alternatives to white refined sugar, which clearly is something that you must avoid? Let's talk about what you can use instead of this white sugar. Number 1, organic brown sugar. Organic, then all the very better, because this is extremely healthy. Now what it does essentially is that this is processed, but it is made in the most natural way to retain most of sugarcane's nutrition, and that's the reason why this should be an alternative. Coconut or palm sugar, again extremely healthy sources of sugar, which are alternatives as well, extracted from the flower buds of the coconut palm tree. The sugar has a mild caramel taste and can be used in a number of ways in your delicacies, also for daily consumption. Date sugar, extremely nutritious natural sweetener. Date sugar can be a great addition to your diet. This also is a good alternative. Jaggery or gur, as we know, it has got a world of benefits in terms of what it does to your body. Essentially, a lot of people have spoken about the fact that during pollution, you should be consuming a lot of gur. It's a great alternative to sugar. Also, the fact that it is rich in iron is really an added benefit and added advantage. Raw or unprocessed honey. This too is a great alternative. You can use it in various forms, like you use white refined sugar. It tastes extremely good as well.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 27 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 26 and minimum 22 degrees.
As a policy seems to be deprioritizing news. And even if I take my journalist hat off, a lot of consumers used Facebook news feeds to stay abreast of what was happening and to get a sense of what's happening globally. Just because of the kind of regulatory trouble that you got into, Facebook said, okay, we don't want to have anything to do with news, which is why, you're now actively deprioritizing news. Is that fair, you think?
If you want to find news, if you want to share news on Facebook, you can do so. I think the idea that there was any point at which the majority of people came to Facebook because they wanted to either consume or digest news was always somewhat exaggerated. That really has never been the principal motive. If you want to read news, read a newspaper, go to a news site.
From the miracle of 1983 to becoming the first-time host in 1987.
The More versus Miadad of 1992 to the Prasad versus Amir Sohail of 1996.
And then, of course, the high of 2011 with Mahendra Singh Dhoni finishing it off in style.
He finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years.
Relive India's journey at the Cricket World Cup from 1983 to the last edition in 2019 with me, Rajdeep Sardesai.
And me, Nikhil Nas. World Cup Rewind at these times on India Today.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar. Co-presented by Macho Hind, Bade Aaram Se. Co-powered by the new Kia Seltos, the badass reborn. Co-powered by Sera, this is your space, play it your way. Co-powered by Nippon India Mutual Fund, wealth sets you free.
And welcome. You're watching this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange. We'll bring you the results of the Sea Voter Rajasthan opinion poll. The first time you'll get a sense of which way the vote share and seat share numbers for this crucial battleground state are stacking up.
हर बूथ पर कमल खिला करके रहेंगे.
Prime Minister declares state of war Rajasthan.
इन लोगों में अहंकार कूट कर भरा हुआ.
Breaks up Red Diary to target Gehlot.
आपने लाल डायरी के बारे में सुना है ना? सुना है ना? कहते हैं इस लाल डायरी में कांग्रेस सरकार के काले कारनामे दर्ज है.
Can Prime Minister boost BJP's performance? Chief Minister fights rebellion and revolt. Is Gehlot's graph rising or sliding?
चुनाव आ रहे इसलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जनता आज सिग्नल दे चुकी है. सीकर के अंदर तो जनता समझ गई है और आने वाले वक्त में उनको लाल झंडी दिखा दी जाएगी.
Will crimes against women hurt Gehlot? First opinion poll on Rajasthan. Political stock exchange.
Let's get started with this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange. We'll bring you the Rajasthan opinion poll numbers. I want to give you a sense first up of the methodology used by C-Voter in putting this opinion poll together. This is a face-to-face survey. 14,085 is the sample size. The survey was conducted between the 26th of June and the 25th of July. So that's a long window in which this poll was conducted. 25 Lok Sabha seats and 200 assembly constituencies have been polled in this survey. Let's get started. Question number 1 on the C-Voter opinion poll for Rajasthan. How satisfied are you with the state government in Rajasthan? 39% of the respondents say they are satisfied with the performance of the Ashok Gehlot government. 36% saying they are satisfied to some extent. 24% saying they are not satisfied at all. The next question is about the Chief Minister's performance and how satisfied people are with the Chief Minister's performance. To this, 41% say they are very satisfied with Ashok Gehlot's performance. That's 2% higher individual popularity in comparison to that of his government. 35% say they are satisfied to some extent. 21% say not satisfied at all with the performance of Ashok Gehlot. Contrast this with the performance of the Prime Minister and the perception around the performance of the Prime Minister. 55% saying they are very satisfied with Prime Minister Modi, 27% saying satisfied to some extent, 17% saying not satisfied at all. What do they think about the work of the central government? 45% saying very satisfied. Remember, that's 10% less than those who said they're satisfied with the central government, with the Prime Minister. 45% saying they like the central government in general. 32% saying satisfied to some extent. 21% saying not satisfied at all. With that, let me introduce you to our guest. I want to begin by introducing Rajdeep Sardesai, my colleague and India's foremost political commentator. With us also Rahul Srivastava, our national affairs editor. We've got with us in the studio Shehzad Poonawalla from the Bharatiya Janata Party. With us for perspective from Rajasthan, we've got Aaj Tak's bureau chief Sharad Kumar. The India Today magazine senior deputy editor Rohit Parihar joins us. And for a perspective from the Congress, we've got Rohan Gupta. Now, very interesting there, Rajdeep. Gehlot's popularity a little bit more than that of his government, but dwarfed in comparison with the popularity of the Prime Minister, whose individual popularity is 10% more than that of his government.
You know, it's very interesting, Rahul. Before this show, I was just speaking to a BJP leader from Rajasthan and asking him what happens to Vasundhara Raje. Are you going to project her? He said, why do we need Vasundhara Raje? We have Prime Minister Modi. This election will be Prime Minister Modi versus Ashok Gehlot. And I think these numbers bear it out. I think in the Hindi heartland states, the BJP, barring Uttar Pradesh, is always tempted to use Prime Minister Modi as their calling card. He is the face, he is the mascot. And I think, therefore, this survey only proves what some BJP analysts or strategists are saying. We don't need to project someone before the election. We are the opposition party. We can take on Mr. Gehlot using anti-incumbency
on that issue,
by projecting
I just want to tell our
Modi.
viewers that I had a 3-hour conference call with our local agencies and stringers in Rajasthan, across the 33 districts of Rajasthan. And they were saying, Rajdeep, that Vasundhara is indeed a force, that you cannot dismiss her, that if she's not projected, there will be consequences for the BJP. So while, of course, the Prime Minister's popularity overrides all else, the Vasundhara factor cannot be discounted either.
Absolutely. I'm not discounting the Vasundhara factor. I think she is definitely a plus factor for the BJP. I'm only going by what your poll is saying. Your poll is clearly showing Mr. Modi's popularity is well above that of his party. So the BJP actually needs Mr. Modi to really drive home the advantage. This is not a double engine election for them because they're not in power in Rajasthan, unlike in Madhya Pradesh, where they will have to face the anti-incumbency of a Shivraj Singh Chauhan. That's the difference. No doubt Vasundhara is the most popular leader even today within the BJP, but whether the BJP will go into an election with her as the face or simply her as one of the faces of the party is the big question. And I think this poll will suggest that the BJP is putting most of its eggs in Mr. Modi's basket for now.
We asked the question, how satisfied are you with the performance of Vasundhara Raje Scindia? Opinion seems very divided. 26% saying they were very satisfied, 27% saying they were satisfied to some extent, 39% saying not satisfied at all. Now that is the million-dollar question, Shehzad Poonawalla. In Rajasthan, do you project your former chief minister? Do you go without projecting her? Is that a risk? Can she do what B.S. Yedurappa did in Karnataka, mar the party's chances to some extent? Or can pinch hitter Modi hit it out of the park without needing another batsman?
First of all, I want to say that apart from Yashwant Deshmukh's survey, I think the fact that Rahul and Rajdeep are so keen to know our chief ministerial candidate shows that you have confirmed that our government is coming 100%. Therefore, I thank you for that conclusion. Secondly, Rahul and Rajdeep, you have covered Bengal elections. We did not have government there or chief minister there. Did we project a face there? Delhi elections, we have not had a government there. Did we project a face there? Wherever we have not got a sitting chief minister, whenever we fight those elections, the trend is that we go for the election, our elected MLAs and the parliamentary parliamentary board decide when we win the elections. So I think that program or that format will be continued. But today the main contender...
With one exception, Mr. Poonawalla, Vasundhara Raje has been chief minister twice in Rajasthan. So she's not some unknown quantity. And when I look at in the survey, according to you, should the BJP project a CM face in Rajasthan? BJP supporters 61% are saying yes.
I'm coming to that in just a moment.
Okay. Rajdeep, but just let me complete. Rajdeep, I said, do we have a current government in Rajasthan? Do we have a sitting chief minister? Let me tell you today, Rajdeep, everyone is talking about this. This is the red diary.
That's the Lal diary that's missing.
This is the red diary.
Is that the answer to the mystery?
Well, the real red diary and its pages are with Mr. Gehlot.
So you made up your own diary. That's what Gehlot is saying.
Black deeds of Mr. Gehlot are all there, and people of Rajasthan are today asking that how many paper leaks have taken place and why are the main accused of the paper leaks with Rahul Gandhi, Kopal Kesawat? Why is it that Salman Khurshid is defending the mastermind of the paper leak cases, which is Mr. Suresh Dhaka? Today, unbelievable corruption, breaking of promises. They said that they will give Kisan Karz Maafi. 19,000 farmers lost their lands. Highest unemployment rates in Rajasthan. These are the issues that people are grappling with. And on the other hand, when Mr. Modi has been delivering for Rajasthan, 9 medical colleges, we have made it 35. We have given over 3.5 crore people bank accounts. 13,000 crores have been transferred into their accounts. 80 lakh toilets have been built. 75 lakh farmers have got 10,000 crores. This is Modi ji's guarantee for Rajasthan.
So the big question for the BJP is, should they project Vasundhara Raje? The big question for the Congress is, on whose face should the Congress contest? Sachin Pilot has been asking the question, apna time kab aayega? Let's take a look at the responses to this question. 41% of the respondents in this C-voter poll say the Congress should contest with Ashok Gehlot as its face. 30% say Sachin Pilot should be the face. And if I look at the same question and break it down under Congress and BJP supporters, you will then get a sense of how amongst the Congress supporters, more people want Ashok Gehlot to be the chief ministerial face. 55% of Congress supporters saying they want Ashok Gehlot. Only 28% of Congress supporters want Sachin Pilot. So amongst Congress supporters, Rahul Srivastava, Sachin's popularity is less than his overall popularity. And that is his biggest dharam sankat.
See, Rahul, over the last 5 years, Gehlot has been able to do one thing. He has managed to push Sachin Pilot to a point that Sachin has virtually nothing left. And the people in India, the voters, sense these things, that how influential a person is. They will bet put their bets on a horse which they think can emerge ahead of the other one. So Ashok Gehlot has, anyway, the basic dialogue going around in Rajasthan is what Ashok Gehlot has done to Sachin Pilot is what Ajit said in a movie. Isko liquid oxygen mein dal do, liquid जीने नहीं देगा, oxygen मरने नहीं देगा. That's the kind of thing that Congress leaders themselves are talking about in Rajasthan today. Now, in that scenario, since Sachin, though Sachin does command a certain area, especially the Dhundad area, where there is a sizable support for Sachin, beyond that area, in the 4 other regions, Sachin has a problem. Whereas in one of the bigger regions, like where Gehlot and Sachin and other, that is the Marwar region, where there are 61 seats. That's where lies Gehlot's strength. So Gehlot controls a wider territory.
And that's the big problem, Rohan Gupta. From the Congress's perspective, you'd like to look beyond Ashok Gehlot. So many promises have been made by the Congress High Command to Sachin Pilot. But even at this moment, Ashok Gehlot is, according to the C-voter data, the bigger leader in Rajasthan, and more Congress voters would like you to fight the next election with Gehlot as your face.
Rahul, even before 5 years, the same question was asked to Congress party to declare the CM candidate. We never did that, and after that, now we are after 4.5 years. Your survey is showing that popularity of Gehlot is high. See, at the end of the day, Rahul, for us, for Congress party, it is what we promised to the people and what we delivered. This is the first government in the country which can release the compliance report to its manifesto. We have finished 83% of our promises. I dare BJP spokesperson to challenge that. This is a booklet which has been released. So my point here is just 2 days back, we have released subsidy to ensure that gas cylinder is available to people of Rajasthan at 500 rupees per cylinder. So we talk about policies, we talk about performance. Let people decide whom they want to vote. They have voted Congress party in power 4.5 years back. We have delivered the promises, and it's upon people to decide. But at the same time, Rahul, I want to make one point very, very clear. Even before Karnataka elections, we were discussing the same point where the state leadership of BJP Karnataka was finished by central leadership because of their arrogance. Yedurappa was pushed to a particular border and he was never allowed to go beyond that.
But Karnataka is not a Hindi heartland state. The popularity of the Prime Minister, his ability to connect with audiences, speak the language the citizens and voters understand, is much higher in a state like Rajasthan than it is in Karnataka, where in many parts people don't understand Hindi.
Rahul, let me be very clear. Even when Karnataka election started, it was told that it will be in face of Mr. Modi, the election will be fought and won. What happened? I will deny with this report that, okay, he is more popular in Rajasthan compared to Karnataka. Karnataka, he was the face under which BJP fought the election and lost badly. You need to understand that the politics of country is changing now. Okay. People understand that state elections are for electing the CM and not PM. They know that whatever.
Now the Congress is attempting some kind of a rapprochement between Gehlot and Pilot. What do voters think of this? Can this pact between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot prove to be a masterstroke? Was the C-voter question. Let me give you the responses to this. Now, when the question was asked, can there be a pact, and also if there is a successful pact, can it be a masterstroke? Now, critical to this question is whether the pact actually holds. 45% say yes. If it holds, it will prove to be a masterstroke. 35% saying no, it will not be a masterstroke. But whether the pact holds, and that's where I want to go across to Sharad Kumara, Bureau Chief in Rajasthan. दिखाने के लिए तो जो दोनों की लड़ाई है उसको खत्म कर दिया गया है सर। कांग्रेस हाईकमांड ने बोला है कि आप लोग मिल के काम कीजिए। क्या वाकई में दोनों के जो गिले शिकवे हैं वो दूर हो गए हैं, या सिर्फ दिखा रहे हैं कि हमारी दोस्ती हो गई, लेकिन
पर्दे के पीछे एक दूसरे को काटने में अभी भी लगे हुए हैं।
राहुल, मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ कि वो कौन से 35% है जो सोच रहे हैं कि दोनों के बीच वाकई में दोस्ती हो गई है। जो भी राजनीति को जानने वाले हैं वो सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं कि दोनों के बीच दोस्ती हो सकती है। ये स्थिति है, मिल भी नहीं सकते हैं। दोस्ती की बात तो छोड़ दीजिए, अभी तक मिल भी नहीं पाए हैं, एक दूसरे से बातचीत भी नहीं कर पाए हैं। तो ये दूरी इतनी ज़्यादा है कि ये संभव नहीं है और इसी की वजह से इस तरह के हालात हैं भी। देखिए, राजस्थान की सिनेरियो की हम जो बात कर रहे हैं तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की कर्नाटक चुनाव के बाद लगातार मैं रैलियां कवर कर रहा हूं। भीलवाड़ा, सिरोही, अजमेर, दौसा, ये 4 रैलियों में लोग बिल्कुल रिस्पॉन्स नहीं कर रहे थे। उसके बाद बीजेपी की रणनीति बदली है और बीकानेर रैली से जो उठाव शुरू हुआ है, सीकर के रैली के कल का इतना ओवरवेलमिंग रिस्पांस था कि उस रैली के रिस्पांस को देखने के बाद मुझे लग रहा था कि किसी फेस की शायद जरूरत नहीं पड़े राजस्थान में, क्योंकि मोदी अपने पूरे रंग में थे। अब पहले अपनी योजनाओं को गिना रहे थे और योजनाएं जब गिना रहे थे तो पब्लिक ऊँग रही थी और यही हाल मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत की सभाओं में होता है। अपनी योजनाओं को गिनाते हैं वो ऊँगती है, पता नहीं योजनाएं लोग तक पहुँचती है नहीं पहुँचती हैं, इस पर बात।
मैं ये कह रहा था कि हम लोग सेम ब्यूरो कॉन्फ्रेंस में थे और वहाँ पे तमाम स्ट्रिंगर से बात करके जो तस्वीर उभरी शरद, वो ये कि काफ़ी सॉलिड एंटी इनकम्बेंसी राजस्थान में इस वक्त दिख रही है।
जी बिल्कुल दिखाई दे रही है। इसलिए दिखाई दे रही है कि देखिए, मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत को शायद आपको याद होगा कि जब पहले कार्यकाल में हम चुनाव में जा रहे थे उनके, तो इंडिया टुडे ने उनको इस देश का बेस्ट सीएम करार दिया था और तब अपने इतिहास की दूसरी सबसे बुरी हार हारे थे, क्योंकि अशोक गहलोत के खिलाफ कभी मैंने गुस्सा देखा ही नहीं। दूसरी बार इतिहास के सबसे बुरी हार हारे 21 पर, तब भी जब भी मिलते थे तो एक साल तो कहीं कहते थे कि हम क्यों हार गए। कभी भी मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत के काम को लेकर और उनके फेस को लेकर नाराजगी नहीं रही है, मगर कांग्रेस में जिस तरह से काम उनके कार्यकाल में होता है, इतनी ज़्यादा एंटी इनकम्बेंसी होती है। अब बिजली को लेकर चारों तरफ हंगामा मचा हुआ है कि बिजली बिल में छूट दी जा रही है, कितना ज़्यादा सरचार्ज लग रहा है और बिजली आ भी नहीं रही है। दूसरा, पूरे देश में हल्ला हो गया कि राइट टू हेल्थ बिल पास हुए कितने दिन हो गए, उसके नियम कानून नहीं बने आज तक। तो ये सारे जो मसले हैं कि एक हवा बना लेना काम का और फिर वो काम पहुंचना नहीं, इसलिए एंटी इनकम्बेंसी तो है। देखिए, वहां पर अगर जाते हैं तो पर्सनली नाराजगी मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत से नहीं हो सकती और कभी नहीं रही है। उनके तीसरे कार्यकाल में मैं देख रहा हूं कि उनसे कभी नाराजगी नहीं रहती है, मगर उनके नेतृत्व में जो सरकार होती है 2 बार सबसे बुरी हार हारी है और इस बार कहा जा रहा है कि मुकाबला देने के लिए तैयार हैं। मगर जो बात होती है, फीडबैक मिलता है जमीन पर, उसके अनुसार बीजेपी की स्थिति बेहतर है, चेहरा हो चाहे नहीं हो। मुझे लग रहा है कि बीजेपी के पास फीडबैक होगा। हालांकि देखिए, चुनाव में हम कहने वाले कौन होते हैं, किसकी बेहतर स्थिति है, मगर जो फीडबैक हमें मिल रहा है उसके अनुसार मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत के लोग जो बताते हैं कि उनको भी लग रहा है कि मामला टफ है राजस्थान में। जी,
ओके, व्हाट्स द व्यू ऑन द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द गहलोत गवर्नमेंट ऑन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर? 42% of the respondents say he's done a good job. 50% of the respondents in this C-voter poll say the Gehlot government has not delivered on law and order. 63% of the Congress voters think he's been good. 29% think he's been bad. But amongst BJP voters, those who think the performance has been bad is naturally much higher. Will these populist schemes work? Because that's the Gehlot government's big hope. Load the voters with freebies and maybe that will work. 46% of the overall respondents say yes, 45% say no. Rajdeep, on the question of law and order, it seems that more people think his government has fared badly, and on the issue of populist schemes working, opinion seems to be quite divided. Gehlot has a track record of leading his party to a disastrous defeat at the end of 5 years in power.
Yes, Rahul. The fact is, Ashok Gehlot's last 5 years, if we look at his 5 years, you've got to divide it into 2 halves. The first 3 years were a complete disaster, 2.5 years. Why? Wiped out in the Lok Sabha elections, including his son getting defeated. The Sachin pilot revolt takes place in 2020, 2021. Most of the country was battling COVID, 2020 and 21. Ashok Gehlot was hemmed in both within and outside for much of the first 3 years. I think the Gehlot government has really woken up post-October when he actually, in a way, challenged the Congress High Command and said, I'm not going to become Congress President, I will stay on as Congress Chief Minister. In the last 6 to 8 months, many of his schemes, which had even been initiated earlier, like Chiranjeevi, which according to me is a very good scheme, the health scheme, but the gas cylinder, minimum income guarantee which he's just put out, schemes for women, all of this has come generally in the last 6 to 9 months. Therefore, what happens is that if once anti-incumbency has settled in, all you can do through these schemes is reduce it. And that's what the survey is showing. The survey clearly is showing that there are issues which Mr. Gehlot, like law and order, remains vulnerable on. There are issues like a 500 rupee gas cylinder which people are appreciating. But is it too little too late? Did the Congress hemorrhage in Rajasthan for much too long? And I believe that the real crisis, Rahul, is not so much Ashok Gehlot personally. Most people you look at in Rajasthan don't target Mr. Gehlot the person. He's seen as relatively affable. But the MLAs have got away in Rajasthan with, dare one say, according to local sources, local level corruption. And that has not been stymied because Ashok Gehlot was always conscious, if I take on the MLAs beyond a point, will my government remain or not? So I think those first 3 years affected him, and he's tried to make a comeback in the last 2 years. I fear it may be too late.
In this show, Shehzad's been holding up this so-called Lal diary, the red diary, which comes from Rajendra Gouda. So there are two questions on that in this poll. One is, will the Gouda episode harm the Congress? 58% of the respondents say yes, 40% say no. Should he have been sacked? Was this right? Was this wrong? 45% say yes, he should have been sacked. 46% say he shouldn't have been sacked. And what the BJP has done is they really run away with this issue. He actually comes from the BSP originally, so he's not really a Congress loyalist in that way.
One point, that he has not been kicked out of the Congress party even now. He continues to be in the Congress, and he's not the only person. By the way, this red diary is not the only episode. Bharat Singh, an MLA, has written that the Khanan mining minister, the mining minister is the biggest mining mafia. And these issues of corruption have been going on in every department every year. In transfer posting, there was such a racket that when Govind Dotasara said to teachers that does racket take place, they said in front of his face, yes, it takes place. And even the other scams that have taken place, the paper leak scam is the biggest scam, and Rajdeep needs to be counted on 2 points. See, Rajdeep, you said that Mr. Gehlot is managing his popularity. You know, right now, in the sense that after 2.5 years, or these schemes are trying to make him look a little better than the first 3 years. Let me tell you, if Mr. Gehlot is so popular, then why is the Congress not declaring a sitting CM as their face for the campaign? You know, it is not just BJP versus Congress. It is BJP versus Congress versus Gehlot. Gehlot is on his pink poster coming out of the PR boxes, and that PR box is putting only him on the poster with a pink color. There is no Congress hand, no Congress Neta, no Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi on it. So Mr. Gehlot is actually fighting even the Congress party.
Rajendra Gouda, this episode, do you think Rohit Parihar will hurt the Congress? There are two things. You have the recency factor. This poll has happened at a time when this episode is just broken, so naturally it looks like a big issue. But in the longer run, given your understanding of the history of Rajasthan politics, do you think Gehlot once again set to repeat history?
Given the recent history of Rajasthan, you know, the way they keep changing the government, incumbent government, so it is a very, very uphill task for Ashok Gehlot. But I must say that, you know, compared to the last time when he finished with 21 out of 200, the situation is far better. If the elections are held today, you know, I would give him around 60 to 70 seats easily to Congress, which is a very good performance, you know, before 4 months before that, you know. And he can, from here, he can, you know, take it a little better also. That means he is in the position where...
it could get better, but it could get worse as well. Both things can happen.
Yeah, I was about to say that, you know, the way Gouda thing, you know, Prime Minister has picked it up, but you know that people have a short memory. Unless center backs it up with, you know, some conclusive investigation, people are going to forget this thing, because Gouda himself hardly has any credibility. You know, sometime he was, you know, he used to be loyalist to Gehlot, then, you know, BSP before that, then became a pilot supporter. So everybody knows about his vested interest also, you know. So, and everybody is asking that what were income tax officials doing at that point of time? If actually Gouda went there and, you know, snatched diary from income tax officer or stole that what were the officers do? Did they lodge a complaint? Sure. This is the question is asked to Virendra Singh also.
BJP's big hopes is that Prime Minister Modi going to Rajasthan will help them. So Yashwant Deshmukh and his team asked this question in this poll: will the Prime Minister's visits help the BJP in Rajasthan? 61% of the respondents say yes, 30% say no. Then we come to that vexed question: should the BJP project a chief ministerial candidate? 56% of the overall respondents say yes, the BJP should project a chief ministerial candidate, 30% say no. 62% of BJP supporters say the BJP should project a chief ministerial candidate. Only 28% of BJP supporters say no. Yashwant Deshmukh, this question and the response that has emerged seems to suggest BJP voters would like a chief ministerial candidate. But when I look at the other question about the performance of Vasundhara Raje, 39% say they're not satisfied at all. In this scenario, is your poll looked at purely statistically, seeming to suggest that there should be a chief ministerial candidate outside Mrs. Raje?
Well, I think, Rahul, that all the elections now in India, people do expect to see the face that they feel is going to form the government. They are going to vote for who is going to head the government. So for all, theoretically speaking, we are following the Westminster model. For practically speaking, the Indian electorate is pretty much in the presidential form of mindset as far as the voting intent is concerned. So if they are asking majority of them that they need clarity on who is going to be the chief minister, it is a justified, way of saying the things. But as far as the BJP is concerned, it's a kind of a dilemma because I think Vasundhara Raje still remains the most popular BJP face within the BJP, but somehow...
Okay, so let me show that question to the viewers. I haven't shown that data set yet, so let me just do that for a moment. Who is the most popular face of the Bharatiya Janata Party? When Yashwant and his team asked this question, here is what the responses look like. 36% of the respondents say Vasundhara Raje should be the chief ministerial face. Gajendra Shekhawat comes in at a distant 9, 1/4 the popularity of the former chief minister. None of these is 33%. Arjun Megwal is 7%. And I want to look at what the responses are amongst BJP supporters. So there isn't much of a difference. If you look at BJP supporters, 37% of the BJP supporters want Vasundhara Raje. The rest of them have very, very marginal numbers. So that's the way the data looks like. Rajdeep, how would you be decoding this? So they don't think she's done a good job. 39% say she hasn't been effective, yet they think that she's the #1 choice.
You see, the fact is this is an election taking place with Ashok Gehlot as the chief minister. Vasundhara Raje was the chief minister 5 years ago. So when you ask this question, people are not going to judge Vasundhara Raje in the manner in which they would have judged her 5 years ago. You will remember 5 years ago what was the slogan in Rajasthan. Modi tujhse bair nahi, Vasundhara teri khair nahi. There was anger against Vasundhara Raje's government. Just as at the moment there seems to be anger against Ashok Gehlot's MLAs. Vasundhara Raje, the individual, remains, I believe, very popular, particularly in comparison with other BJP leaders. You see, many of this is also done. You also look for who else is there. One of the difficulties that the BJP has had in Rajasthan, and to some extent the Congress, is that they don't have the next generation ready. At least the Congress could claim that Sachin Pilot, possibly in the next decade, is the next generation leader. Who is the BJP's next generation leader? For 20 years, Vasundhara Raje has towered over all else, with all others within the BJP. So naturally, as the poll shows, she's the most popular. But her government, particularly in 2018, was not seen as a popular government, and Vasundhara suffered as a result personally. So for all her high popularity, she was not able to offset anti-incumbency. Let's be clear, Rahul. Since 1993, barring Bhairav Singh Shekhawat that year, where he won when he was re-elected, that too with independent supports in the aftermath of the Babri Masjid demolition, no government has been re-elected in Rajasthan. So Ashok Gehlot is fighting history in a way when he's going to the polls this time.
But Rajdeep, I want to ask about two elections, 2013 and 2018. Can you tell me the vote difference between BJP and Congress in 2018? Where you say there was a great anti-incumbency against Vasundhara. We were only 0.5% behind them. 1 second. And in the election in 2013, where Ashok Gehlot got routed with 21 seats and we won 163 seats, well, that is now you're saying that Ashok Gehlot only faces little bit anti-incumbency. It's against his MLAs. So this kind of double standard should not be there. Secondly,
I want to make a point here. See, I think what Rajdeep is saying, what is happening that the BJP wanted to remove Vasundhara Raje. It's not just what Vasundhara teri khair nahi, there is a personality issue also. The current BJP does not like leaders of the kinds of Vasundhara Raje who act as regional satraps. Now in that what happened, first Karnataka loss, and now after that surveys and internal assessments, Vasundhara's significance has risen. Now, if you see what has happened in the last few days, in the last 2 PM visits in Sikar as well as the other, Vasundhara Raje has been praised by the Prime Minister. It has also happened that she has been given greater eminence. Then Amit Shah went to Rajasthan and he praised Vasundhara Raje. Increasingly, I have seen Vasundhara Raje camp going easy. It's not pressurizing, muscle flexing that I am going to be XYZ. A kind of a truce is coming, but BJP eventually is looking at a scenario where PM is the main template. Vasundhara is also there to keep her happy because without her it is difficult.
But Vasundhara would like to be projected as the chief ministerial face. If you get her to work and somebody else becomes chief minister, she'll feel very shortchanged.
Right now she is happy that she has come here because 2 months ago, she was in the wilderness. So she has graduated onto better things. She is attending a lot of functions. Her significance is understood, but BJP wants change. And that again, very interesting. What the BJP is doing through Prime Minister, if the Prime Minister as a template in Rajasthan succeeds, in the assembly elections, in the close by Lok Sabha elections, Prime Minister becomes a more prominent face in Rajasthan. And that's why very cleverly what Gehlot is doing, he's creating a Modi versus Gehlot battle in Rajasthan so that Vasundhara is out. He's matching him on beneficiary policies, the schemes which he's announcing.
No, but his popularity pales in comparison with that of the Prime Minister.
Pales,
so that's
but
not a smart
see,
idea.
in Rajasthan when the vote happens, Ashok Gehlot, remember one thing, Rahul, one thing very interesting. Last time when we did a poll tracker, he was the government was at 39 popularity, very satisfied. It is again 39, and that's the percentage of vote Congress got last time around.
Okay, so
there is something consistent about
Gehlot. So let's now come to the business end of this poll, which is the vote share and the seat share. I'll start by showing you the vote share projections done by Yashwant Deshmukh and his team at C Voter. This is the first poll for Rajasthan. The C Voter projection for Rajasthan is that the Congress's vote share in comparison with the 2018 assembly elections will be 2% more than last time. So 41% vote share projected for the Congress, which given the fact that you've got a government in power, your vote share going up 2% is not insignificant. It's a pretty solid performance. The BJP, though, getting a 7% bump in their vote share from the last time when it was 39, this time at 46. In a larger sense, signaling once again the growing bipolarity of our electoral process in the assembly context. So, Congress's vote share up 2%, BJP's vote share up 7%. That gives the BJP a 5% gap. Now, no matter how Yashwant and his team convert the seats in a bipolar contest, a 5% gap between the winner and the runner-up, Rajdeep would suggest one-way traffic.
Just one line before Rajdeep.
You never let Rajdeep speak.
No, please.
Rajdeep's in a magnanimous mood.
Rajdeep will allow me. One second, please.
No, my worry is if I don't let him speak, he will go on Twitter and say I was not allowed to speak.
You can't be scared of Shehzad, Rajdeep.
I am terrified. Wasting time and not allowing me to speak. All you 3 hours, I know your strategy. But now, let me tell you that 46% vote share that you're giving us is actually higher than the vote share we got in 2013, which was 45%. And at that time, we ramped home with 163. Rahul, with all due respect to Rahul Srivastav ji, and he's an institution in himself, but sir, I go to Rajasthan every second week. The amount of anti-incumbency, particularly against Mr. Gehlot, especially on issues of youth and betrayal of the youth, paper leaks, etc., is astounding. And therefore the people, they are saying only one nara in Rajasthan. ये है लूट की दुकान और झूठ का बाजार, इसको बंद करना है. This is the nara in Rajasthan.
Yashwant Deshmukh, you know, seat projection is complex. Vote projection is very scientific because it's really from what you've picked up. A 5% gap for the BJP in vote share would suggest no matter how you divide it into seats, no matter what kind of formulae you run, the BJP very clearly poised in the state of Rajasthan to come back to power from your data.
Well, Rahul, you are correct in your assessment. What is happening is now the complete bipolarity that we have also seen in Karnataka. That bipolarity in Karnataka helped the Congress against, riding the anti-incumbency wave. And this is what is happening in Rajasthan as well. I think the majority of the anti-incumbent votes, which were not in BJP kitty 5 years back, are kind of polarizing more for the BJP similarly, just like it did in favor of Congress in Karnataka. So, I mean, in seats projection, Rahul, we are very conservative. So we will not do anything which will be looking like a pendulum one way or the other. We we always maintain that vote share is something
That's
which
just
is
Yashwant's
the
style.
where the
He
surveys
likes to
stop,
bat like Rahul Dravid and not like Surya Kumar Yadav or Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
So I would just like to keep it like that. Yes, the 5% vote share gap is significant. What is happening is I believe that a lot many smaller parties are going to be squeezed out in this process as an process starts further deep into this territory. There are significant regional variations as well, Rahul. In Shekhawati, still Congress is maintaining in our survey a lead, very slender lead, but still they are maintaining a lead in Shekhawati. But in Mewar and Marwar, these are the two major regions where BJP is getting a significant lead over there.
So let me come now to the seat share numbers, because that's what viewers are really interested in. It might be a pollster's nightmare, but that's where the mirch and the masala really lies. So here it is. For what it's worth, the vote share converted into seat share by the team at C Voter would suggest that the Congress could fall from 100 to 83. If this is indeed anywhere close to 83, it would still be Ashok Gehlot's best performance when he was up for re-election. The BJP up from 73 to 114, although it can be argued with a 5% vote share gap. The Yashwant Deshmukh, if he wasn't batting like Rahul Dravid and instead batting like Surya Kumar Yadav, could have made this number bigger. He's chosen to be conservative. That's his style. We're going by his numbers. 41 seats gained over the last time. The BSP crashing from 6 to 0. Others from 21 crashing to 3. So both the leading parties becoming stronger, relatively speaking, in comparison with the third front and the others. Rajdeep, looking at the numbers very pensively, you want to jump in and say something?
No, looking at these numbers, if I was the BJP, I would be quietly satisfied. But if I was the Congress party, I would actually be clutching to some hope, which seemed completely non-existent a year ago. Non-existent to the extent that
why are you imagining the ball can't swing the other way? This 83 can become 60.
Look, there are two ways this. If you remember 2011, when Mr. Gehlot was wiped out, I think he got just 21 or 25 seats. The vote percentage of the Congress was 33%. There was a 12% gap at that time. Now you are saying, as per the survey, the gap is about 4%. Presumably, Yashwant would correct me, but it's about a 3% margin of error, I'm presuming.
Sure.
Given that the 3% of margin of error, it appears that Ashok Gehlot, as per this poll, has made some kind of a comeback, both in terms of his personal popularity and the support for his various schemes like the gas cylinder at ₹500. It gives the Congress some hope to cling on to, even as the BJP will believe that they all, as of now, this is the one state where they are in pole position.
You can read the data the other way around. You can interpret it whichever way you want, because the other way to look at the same data is that once voters get a sense that it is inevitable that the BJP is going to win and that Ashok Gehlot is on his way out because of the winner's bandwagon effect, more and more of the voters who are on the fence or veering towards Ashok Gehlot and the Congress may jump towards the BJP, and that 5% vote share gap could actually go up as you move from end July to November, December.
With one small caveat, Rahul, Rajasthan is an interesting state that while it is bipolar or appears bipolar, some of these smaller parties have their areas of influence which are very, very...
The RLP, the BTP,
independents, the BSP...
seats last time with a lot of votes. I think they won something close to 14% votes.
So you'll have specific regions. You see, also in the caste mix, and Rajasthan caste mix matters. If you look at Eastern Rajasthan, the role that the Gujar community plays is important. Significantly, in 2018, with Sachin Pilot as the president of the Rajasthan Congress, the Congress swept Eastern Rajasthan. Now, we don't know where what position Mr. Pilot will have in the Congress strategy. So all of this will matter, I think, in the next 4 or 5 months. It is a state where region-wise, the vote variation does take place.
That's where campaign and momentum then becomes important. Sharad Kumar, you're on the ground. आपके हिसाब से ये जो अगर 83 है तो ये गहलोत का री-इलेक्शन के टाइम पे बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस होगा. आपके हिसाब से क्या मोमेंटम इस तरीके से बन रहा है कि गहलोत जी जो गैप है उसको कम कर पाएंगे, या मोमेंटम इस तरीके से बन रहा है कि ये फासला और बढ़ सकता है बीजेपी और कांग्रेस के बीच में?
अभी तक तो हम इसको पीक देख रहे हैं और कई लोग कह रहे हैं कि आज समय से पहले पीक पर कांग्रेस पहुंच गई है, लेकिन देखिए उसमें अगर बिना किसी एनालिसिस की बात करें तो वसुंधरा राजे अगर नहीं बनती है फेस तो बीजेपी को 20 सीटों का असर पड़ सकता है। अगर बीजेपी 140 आना चाह रही है तो 120 आ सकती है, 120 आना चाह रही है तो 100 आ सकती है। वसुंधरा राजे के सीएम फेस बनने से बीजेपी की सरकार बनाने पर असर पड़ेगा, इसमें थोड़ा लोग संदेह व्यक्त कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वोटर अगर बीजेपी से पूछिएगा वसुंधरा राजे को चाहते हैं तो कहते हैं हाँ, अगर नहीं उनको फेस किया जाता है तो क्या आप बीजेपी को वोट नहीं देंगे, तो कहते हैं नहीं, बीजेपी को तो वोट देंगे। यहाँ अंतर कांग्रेस में है। मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ कि 21% वो कौन लोग हैं कांग्रेस के जो सचिन पायलट को पसंद करते हैं, क्योंकि हालत यह है कि विधायक मंत्री तो छोड़िए, कोई अधिकारी और पत्रकार तक सचिन पायलट के घर जाना पसंद नहीं करता है कि क्या पता सरकार देख लेगी। अगर इसके बाद भी 21% लोग अगर चाह रहे हैं तो समझिए कि 21% जो सचिन पायलट के चाहने वाले हैं वो क्या अशोक गहलोत को वोट देने जा रहे हैं। कांग्रेस को विचारधारा से बंधी हुई पार्टी नहीं है, वो नहीं देंगे। आप मुझे जहां तक मैं कांग्रेस को जानता हूं तो ये समझना चाहिए जो राजदीप कह रहे थे कि ईस्टर्न बेल्ट में 40 सीटों का नुकसान हो सकता है, और जो शेखावटी का इलाका हो या नागौर का इलाका हो, तो सचिन पायलट एक फैक्टर है। अगर 21% जैसा कि अगर बता रहे हैं ये सर्वे में कि 21% लोग चाह रहे हैं उनको सीएम फेस, वो क्यों चाह रहे हैं? क्योंकि वो हाशिए पर पड़े हैं और कांग्रेस में जो पावर में नहीं रहता उसको कोई पूछता नहीं है, तो वो वोटर बहुत क्रूशियल है। इसलिए कह रहे हैं कि अशोक गहलोत अगर सचिन पायलट के कंबाइंड फोर्स में नहीं आते हैं तो फिर ये जीतती हुई पार्टी नहीं दिखाई दे रही है। भले ही काम के आधार पर अशोक गहलोत बहुत ज़्यादा अपने आप को प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो, क्योंकि जो बात कर रहे थे यशवंत देशमुख, मेवाड़ और मारवाड़ अभी भी कांग्रेस के सबसे कमज़ोर स्थिति है। हम जो स्टिंगर से बात कर रहे थे, आप भी कर रहे होंगे, आप भी कर रहे थे, तो मेवाड़ और जो मारवाड़ का हमने रिजल्ट देखा उसमें बीजेपी बहुत अच्छा कर रही है और मारवाड़ जो अशोक गहलोत का इलाका है। तो निश्चित रूप से अशोक गहलोत सबको अच्छे लगते हैं। अगर राजस्थान में जनता से पूछिएगा, अब वो उनको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा होगा बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता को, लेकिन वोट कोई देने नहीं निकलता है। मैं पिछले तीसरे कार्यकाल से देख रहा हूँ।
रोहित पटेल, your sense of the momentum, your sense of the momentum, is the momentum, as Rajdeep is suggesting, building in a way that Gehlot is being able to close the gap and build his position, or is the momentum building in a way that it will become one-way traffic in favor of the BJP?
The momentum is being built up. Another factor is, it's not the smaller party. It's more of the independents and rebels who, normally are 20 to 30 MLAs are always from independent or rebels in the last 2, 3, 4 elections. So that is a very crucial factor which cannot be assessed as of now. These things take place only after the candidates are announced. And when you say about momentum, yes, I personally feel if Vasundhara Raje is given more prominence, then definitely BJP is getting into some kind of momentum. These days, when we talk to BJP leaders also, they also say that tempo is not being built up as of now. PM is definitely very popular. Nobody can say, but people also know that PM is PM. He can't be the CM here. And if BJP doesn't project or, bring somebody in, for the same problem happened with Congress, that is why, because they didn't declare Gehlot or Pilot at that moment of time. And so there was always a lot of problem there.
Rohan Gupta, from the Congress's perspective, the big concern, as it looks like a ship adrift, it could sail further away from the shore of victory.
I think, Rahul, the way we are progressing towards election, you will see that the way this government is performing, we are delivering our results and people are responding. 2 days back, we delivered 155 crores subsidy for gas cylinders. Every day the schemes are coming up. My point, I want to give two perspectives. The way BJP spoiled Karnataka, I was there in Karnataka for more than one and a half months. They don't like the strong leaders. The politics of the country is changing. People want the local leaders. If you see overall BJP
so you
across
want them
India,
to project Vasundhara? You want them to project Vasundhara ji? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they are weakest in... See, the polls are saying that they have to project Vasundhara. Obviously, they will not be able to. I dare BJP spokesperson, can he tell that they will project Vasundhara? No. Because infighting in Rajasthan is too
He'll turn around and ask you, can you say you'll project Gehlot?
Let me answer. To take Rohan Gupta's point, he mentioned Karnataka. In Karnataka, DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah work together.
Yeah, and we haven't just seeing how they are working together right now.
We haven't seen that. No, 1 minute. We haven't seen that in Rajasthan. You see, absolutely right. That if Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot are seen even as on the eve of election to be taking on each other on, it's not going to work for the Congress. You need all hands on deck. Plus, just to correct you, Rahul, I didn't say Congress has the momentum. No, I still believe BJP is in pole position. The Congress is in a better position today
than it was a year ago. That's all I'm saying.
First of all, we are seeing how DK and BK Hari Prasad and Siddaramaiah are working together along with the 30. Please now don't interrupt. With the 30.
I'm talking about pre-election.
Pre-election, post-election, and we are seeing how development work has been stopped by DK Shivkumar. Another thing is that today, one thing is very clear, that the election in Rajasthan is primarily because Ashok Gehlot has not delivered to the youth. The law and order situation has affected the Dalits and women the most, and one cylinder is not going to change that for the women of Rajasthan. The statements that have come from Rajasthan leaders, including Shanti Dhariwal and Ashok Gehlot himself, have made a house in the heart of women of Rajasthan. And secondly, my dear friend Rajdeep, I am writing this on 28th of July. If Congress gets more than 40 seats, you hold this up to me.
So
Congress is less than 40
Poonawalla
seats.
copying from Arvind Keejriwal's
Congress
playbook,
is less than 40 seats. Congress less than 40 seats.
Go ahead, Rahul Srivastava.
I want to make a point here.
See,
Congress less
there
than
is a
40.
huge difference, Rajdeep, between the BJP and the Congress when you talk about infighting. The Congress infighting is a very serious business.
That's right.
Sachin Pilot versus Gehlot. Now, in both the parties, there will be a tussle by the local leaders to see their men, more of them, get the tickets. In Rajasthan, the failure of the High Command to assert itself means Gehlot will actually walk away with more number of seats as far as Rajasthan is concerned. Will the two Gujaratis in Delhi allow that to happen in Rajasthan? Can it happen in BJP that Vasundhara will walk away with majority seats? No. That's where lies the difference. Both the people we are talking about will be fighting for number of seats they can give to their men.
No, I agree.
But in BJP, you cannot do what you can do in Congress, Rajdeep.
No, I agree. And
that's
it's not
why the
just
BJP
that.
has
It's
an
not just
advantage.
that. When I mentioned that there were two phases to Gehlot's leadership, if you remember, Rahul, post-2020, there was dramatic changes. The entire organization of the Congress was put into some kind of comatose. All the district chiefs were removed, dissolved. Various committees were dissolved. They've only come now in July to appointing new committee members. The BJP does not have a strong leader to replace Vasundhara Raje, in my view, at the moment, but the BJP has a strong organization. The Congress has a relatively popular leader in Mr. Gehlot and a young leader in Sachin Pilot. They do not have the organization at the moment, and they suffer from the history of a state with anti-incumbency every 5 years.
Yashwant Deshmukh, in your reading of the data, what could change from here? What are the X factors you're looking at in Rajasthan?
Well, Rahul, I don't see that things change big time when things are going bad for one section and going good for the other one. You know, very dramatically things changing from here, it doesn't really happen in that way, in my experience. However, the Prime Minister's campaign is critical. That remains to be seen. And yes, BJP tried its level best in 4.5 years to give an alternative face of Vasundhara Raje, but it seems it couldn't read successfully in that campaign, whichever it was. And now we see that central leadership coming around.
Okay, so I think the sum and substance of what is being said is this, that the wisdom of the crowds, and there is some wisdom in the wisdom of the crowds because it gives you a directional sense of what's happening. If the BJP were to project Vasundhara Raje Scindia as its chief ministerial face, the party is likely to fare better because then there would be the double engine effect in play. Captain Modi, Vice Captain Scindia, and they both together could push the BJP towards a massive victory. The risk the BJP can take is they can play only on the Prime Minister's face, still cross the halfway mark, but not end up with that massive victory as they would if they had Vasundhara Raje. The Central High Command not very pleased with the former Rajasthan Chief Minister. They would like someone new to take over. They've tried to project Gajendra Shekhawat in the past. That didn't work out well with Vasundhara Raje. She pushed back. So you can't disregard a factor as influential as Vasundhara Raje Scindia. So that's the question.
Do you think that any Congress worker who's loyal to Sachin Pilot is going to work when Mr. Pilot has not been declared even as a CM face for this time? You really think that is happening?
So both those are
Those
problems.
people are going to vote for BJP. You take my word, 40 nahi milne wala hai
Sachin
Congress
Pilot
ko.
men who rebelled may not even get tickets. Now, if Gehlot manages to put his men there, is Sachin going to accept it? It's not going to happen.
And
so Congress has some very serious trouble.
Mr. Gehlot, even if he's losing because of various factors, including the history of anti-incumbency, he may not want to be in a situation where he completely collapses like 2011, because that's the end of his political career. So he will ideally want to be at least 70, 75. He wants an honorable, if at all it is to be a defeat, it should be an honorable defeat, because that gives him a continuing toehold in Rajasthan's politics. We've seen last time what was the buzz in 2018? That the Congress didn't want a massive victory in Rajasthan, because massive victory would have meant Sachin Pilot becoming Chief Minister. So you had a strange situation where the Congress just limped over the halfway mark. Factionalism remains the Congress's biggest challenge in different states. They won Karnataka because they were united. Where the Congress is united, they have more than half a chance in state elections. Where they are not, they are in big trouble.
Remember also, the BJP in its current manifestation is able to seize an opportunity and make it big if the tailwinds are riding in their favor. So Messrs. Modi, Shah and Nadda will go out of their way to ensure that they can go as far up beyond the 114 mark where they stand right now. And momentum and narratives matter. In Karnataka, it seemed the Congress was winning. That seemed to help the Congress party. Here, as word goes out, in the state that the BJP is winning, will they pick up extra votes because of the winner's bandwagon effects? We'll track all of this very, very closely. I want to thank all our guests for joining us for what's been a fascinating hour of political conversation. We'll slip into a break. We'll be back with the political stock exchange. I hope you have a great weekend. See you soon. In politics, everyone has an opinion, but I have the data. Whose stock is rising? Whose graph is falling? Track India's political stock exchange. Unmatched, unmissable data analytics. The only show on News TV where numbers do the talking. India's most credible poll tracker. The Political Stock Exchange with Rahul Kamal, only on India Today.
Tata Motors DVR shares really gained 18% intraday today as a reaction to the news. 52-week high levels for this one. Again, Tata Motors also has been looking up as well. Sharp move on this one. I wanted to understand what will the conversion of DVR shares to Tata Motors shares really mean, and what should investors really do now in terms of the shareholders of Tata Motors and the shareholders of Tata Motors DVR? For both of them, what would you advise?
What I believe is that the arbitrage opportunity which was available yesterday is not present as of now. So if I remember yesterday based on the yesterday closing price, the arbitrage opportunity was for 23%. But we have to keep in mind that this transaction will take 12 to 15 months to consume it. At the same time, since this shares will be issued in the form of deemed dividend, there is an angle of tax also to attach to this transaction. So hence, despite of 23% clear theoretical arbitrage that was available yesterday evening post the closing of market, the stock has reacted only to the tune of 14%. And this is taking into account the implication of tax. At the same time, the opportunity cost for 12 to 15 months during which this transaction will be consummated. Now, going forward, what I believe is that both the stock prices of Tata Motors DVR as well as Tata Motors will move in tandem with the existing swap ratio. So the swap ratio is 10 share of Tata Motors DVR will get a 7 shares of Tata Motors, which is an ordinary share. So that's the swap ratio, and I believe that going forward the stock will continue to move in the same swap ratio, and it will move in tandem. So there is no arbitrage opportunity much more left in the Tata Motors DVR and Tata Motors.
employee addition has dropped a combined 135% at TCS, Wipro and HCL Tech. This means where the companies had added 31,000 employees this quarter last year, this year they've seen a fall of nearly 11,000 employees. This is in line with the muted financial numbers shared by these companies. Akanksha Chaturvedi gets us a deep dive into this trend. A closer look. Akanksha?
That is right, Abha. Hiring across major Indian IT companies has dampened in Q1 FY24 as compared to the year-ago quarter. If we take a close look at the numbers, we see that TCS only added around 500 people to the company in Q1 FY24, while this number was over 28 times bigger last year. TCS added over 14,000 employees in Q1 FY23. At Wipro, this trend seems to have worsened. In Q1 FY24, Wipro's headcount actually reduced by around 8,000 employees, while in Q1 FY23, they had added over 15,000 people to the organization. HCL Tech was also in line with this trend. The company's headcount went down by over 2,500 people in Q1 FY24, whereas they had added around 2,100 people in the year-ago quarter. This slowdown is in line with the broader slowdown in the industry, which is caused by the cutbacks in IT and discretionary spending across the world.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 27 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 26 and minimum 22 degrees.
From the miracle of 1983 to becoming the first-time host in 1987.
The More versus Miadad of 1992 to the Prasad versus Amir Sohail of 1996.
And then, of course, the high of 2011 with Mahendra Singh Dhoni finishing it off in style.
He finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years.
Relive India's journey at the Cricket World Cup from 1983 to the last edition in 2019 with me, Rajdeep Sardesai.
And me, Nikhil Naz. World Cup Rewind at these times on India Today.
In politics, everyone has an opinion, but I have the data. Whose stock is rising? Whose graph is falling? Track India's political stock exchange. Unmatched, unmissable data analytics. The only show on news TV where numbers do the talking. India's most credible poll tracker. The political stock exchange with Rahul Kamal only on India Today.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series, stay wild at heart. Co-powered by the new Kia Seltos, the badass reborn. Co-powered by Sera, this is your space, play it your way.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point tonight. Will the CBI now ensure justice in Manipur? The CBI steps in. Will that be good enough? And what will it take to bridge the Manipur trust deficit? That's what we're going to raise as our continuing focus on that big story. Also, we'll tell you why Jagan Mohan Reddy has decided to back the Modi government next week in Parliament and what that means for Arvind Kejriwal. But first, as always, the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. The CBI filed 6 FIRs on the Manipur violence, 7th FIR on the gang rape horror will be next. 20 opposition MPs to visit Manipur tomorrow. No trust motion on Modi government likely to come up on 7th or 8th of August in Parliament. Sources say final date to be decided on Monday. An Udupi court grants anticipatory bail to 3 women accused in the college washroom snooping row. BJP hits the streets in protest, claims Karnataka police mishandled the case. BJP intensifies Mission South 2024. Union Minister Amit Shah and Tamil Nadu BJP President Annamalai flag off a 6-month-long in Mann in Makkal padyatra. Shocking broad daylight murder in Delhi's Malviya Nagar in the heart of the city. College student bludgeoned to death with an iron rod by a jilted lover. 1 accused arrested. Telangana battles monsoon mayhem as torrential rains wreak havoc across the state. Multiple areas waterlogged. Mumbai and coastal Maharashtra also facing heavy rainfall. Supreme Court grants bail to activists Vernon Gonzalez and Arun Ferreira in the Bhima Koregaon case. Court rules their location will be tracked by NIA at all times. They've spent almost 5 years in jail. Aviation regulator DGCA slaps a 30 lakh fine on Indigo Airlines over systemic deficiencies. Airline says it will appeal against the penalty. And former US President Donald Trump faces a fresh charge in classified documents probe. Trump now accused of asking staffer to erase CCTV footage from his Florida estate. But the story we are breaking at this moment, 20 opposition MPs to visit Manipur on Saturday, and that list has now been accessed by India Today of the MPs who will travel to Manipur on Saturday amidst the ongoing row. Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary will lead an opposition delegation. TMC, CPIM, DMK, Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray group are part of the opposition delegation. Opposition MPs from the 16 parties will hold a 2-day Manipur visit. This comes, remember, at a time when the opposition has been demanding a response from the government and Prime Minister Modi to the situation in Manipur, where more than 140 people have died in the last few months in ethnic violence. So the opposition going ahead with their visit to Manipur. Now, all of this, of course, comes at a time when the centre says it's begun holding talks with Kuki and Meitei community leaders. Prime Minister Modi has deployed Home Minister Amit Shah to take up the issue. Efforts on to restore normalcy in the violence hit Manipur, and significantly, it's the Central Bureau of Investigation which has now been asked to take over several of the probes in the state, including the viral video of 2 women who were paraded naked by a mob in Manipur. What exactly does this mean? It's our top story tonight.
Days after the video of 2 Kuki Zomi women paraded naked in Manipur went viral, the CBI will take over the investigation in the case. The Union Home Ministry has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court giving details of steps taken to restore peace in the northeastern state. The CBI is investigating 6 cases. The agency is set to file a 7th FIR, which will be on the Thobal viral video and gang rape. The government has urged the Supreme Court to transfer the trial in this case outside Manipur. The centre filed the affidavit after the top court on July the 20th took note of that viral video, saying it was deeply disturbed by it. It had asked the centre and state governments for an update on measures taken. Sources tell India Today that the centre has held 6 rounds of talks with both Kuki and Meitei groups. According to sources, efforts are in an advanced stage to bring both communities together on a negotiating table. Sources claim Home Minister Amit Shah personally spoke to community leaders from both sides. Additionally, a few senior retired government officials from both communities are trying to bring both sides to talks.
दोनों समुदाय में बातचीत होनी चाहिए और जो भी मतभेद या मनभेद है वो दूर होने चाहिए। अपेक्षा करते हैं कि जो लोग भी इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं वो राज्य सरकार या केंद्र सरकार जहाँ से जिस लेवल पे इनिशिएटिव हो रहा है या कुछ और लोग इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं उसका आउटकम अच्छा होगा और वापस से शांति बहाल होगी।
The opposition called the decision to hand over the probe to the CBI a step too late.
जैसे अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं ना, too little, too late. सीबीआई को जांच देना, सौंपना 80-85 दिन घटना को हो गए उसके बाद एक विषय है, लेकिन पिछले 80-85 दिन से जब से मणिपुर जल रहा है वहाँ सरकार क्यों अभी तक बर्खास्त नहीं की गई?
The ruckus in Parliament continues as the opposition disrupted proceedings on Friday as well, demanding the Prime Minister speak in the House on the violence in Manipur.
जा रहे ना जाने दो, ग्राउंड जीरो रिपोर्ट क्या है, हम सब कुछ इधर खुलासा करना चाहते हैं अगर चर्चा करते हैं तो। सर मेरा एक If they want to discuss, if they want truth to come out on the, there is no better floor than this.
The opposition alliance called India is sending a 15-member delegation to Manipur on a fact-finding mission.
मुझे लगता है ये ड्रैग करेगी, धीरे-धीरे और आगे ले जाएंगे और बीच-बीच में कोई कार्रवाई करेंगे, जैसे कि सीबीआई की जांच सौंपने का बात कर रहे हैं, किसी को पकड़ेंगे। अभी कहते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट वहाँ से कोर्ट दूसरी जगह हटा के विचार किया जाना चाहिए। ये तरह-तरह की बहाना और बात करके ये मसले को लघु मतलब पतला करने की कोशिश करेगी।
While the central government has underscored no effort will be spared to ensure stringent action against the accused, it remains to be seen if the CBI probe will restore trust among the warring Meitei and Kuki Zomi communities. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big questions tonight. Will a CBI probe ensure justice for the victims in Manipur? Should more trials be moved out of Manipur? What will it take to restore trust among communities? What more should the government be doing to bring peace? And what role can civil society groups play? Just some of the questions I'll raise. Vrinda Grover is advocate at the Supreme Court, human rights activist who's taken up several such cases of mass violence in the past. Gladi Baipai Hunjan is member of the Kuki Zo community and a Manipuri entrepreneur. ML Sharma is former special director at CBI, and Rajat Sethi has been a former political advisor to the Chief Minister of Manipur. I appreciate all of you joining us. I want to come to you, Vrinda Grover. Given your experience in dealing with cases of mass violence in the past, Gujarat, Muzaffarnagar and others, Do you believe the CBI coming in will resolve the case of the viral video? 7 people have already been arrested. Therefore, questions will be raised. Does the CBI really need to be there? Do you believe a CBI investigation will be neutral, non-partisan, will ensure swift justice?
Rajdeep, I think the timing and the manner in which the CBI has been brought in is what gives rise to a lack of good faith over here. It's not as though at the time when the incident took place, the state government and the central government thought this is a fit case for CBI to step in, for special monitoring, for the case to be transferred outside, etc. All this has happened after the Supreme Court's order of 20th July. In the affidavit that has been filed, they very categorically say, the central government says that the state of Manipur has asked for this to be transferred on 26th of July. So 2 days before the case was to be taken up, which was today, it was not taken up because the court one was not sitting today. So this action of even handing it over, why is it not inspiring any confidence, is because this is an attempt to shield themselves from the scrutiny and the questioning that the Supreme Court has initiated. It was very much within the knowledge of the centre and the state that such a horrific crime had taken place. Does CBI investigation per se show us from its track record? And I would start from 1984 onwards actually to understand mass crimes in this country, particularly targeted sexual violence against women and minority communities. We do not have any material to show that CBI investigation will per se be impartial, independent, professional, and lead to timely investigation and prosecution and conviction. What we do know is that if either the Supreme Court or the High Court monitors through a special investigating team, where status reports are given to the court, and there is some amount of monitoring by the court, then there is at least a hope that there will be some fairness in the investigation and there will be prosecutions, etc. I also want to point here, this is not the only case. This case drew our attention to the spate of violence, particularly targeted violence against women from the minority targeted community of Kukizo. So we do need to understand that they are only talking about one case, one incident. There are other incidents. I don't know which these 6 FIRs are or aren't. So this is not sufficient. This in fact seems like a way the government is covering on its own omissions and complicity rather than inspiring any faith and trust.
Okay, that's an opening remark which you made, that the manner in which the inquiry has been ordered, the timing of it doesn't inspire trust. It came just before the Supreme Court was to hear the matter. Rajat Sethi, respond to that, because, you know, many of these incidents date back to the first week of May, a few of them latter half of May and June, but most of them 3rd and 4th of May. Now we are towards the end of July. The fear is that even if there was evidence, it may not exist in reality. Should that, Rajat Sethi, worry us, the lack of faith in the way in which this case has been handed over to the CBI almost just before the Supreme Court was to hear the matter?
Rajdeep ji, good evening. I echo the sentiments that are coming here that, you know, CBI might not be the fit organization here, but then you don't have any other topmost investigating agency beyond the CBI. We all know that we can't have the investigation done by the Scotland Yard. It is the CBI essentially which will have to go through the painstaking exercise of collecting the forensic evidences and ensuring that justice is delivered to all of these cases. You know, you are right. All 80 to 90% of the incidences that we have been discussing and you have been discussing have been limited to the 4th, 5th, 6th May violence. One of the other cases that you have been tracking pretty well has been one of the MLAs, which was Poo Valte, which I've got a chance to interact with you, and you have millions of followers. Everybody in Manipur, Rajdeep, looks up to your show. Therefore, I just wanted to point out, because you haven't corrected, even Balteji got support from the Manipur government in its due course of time. As soon as he was injured, he was airlifted with all the airlifting, charter facility, etc., provided by the government. And every day when he was in Apollo Hospital, he was taken care of by the OST to the Chief Minister, who also happened to be a visiting doctor at Apollo. I wanted to point this out because you are a responsible journalist, and this is an important thing that needs to be reiterated.
Yeah,
because
nobody doubts. No, Rajat, nobody said that Mr. Walte, the MP, who and will play. The condition in which he is extremely sad. The point is the family. The family appreciates, I'm sure, the fact that he was flown down by a chartered plane. He was looked out. I was told 5 lakhs was played down. But 1 minute, sir.
But you brought certain things which were factually incorrect. I just wanted to correct you. But because you haven't tweeted about it. Ideally, you go about even correcting yourself whenever you deem it fit.
I in fact have written a full blog on that, which you will see tomorrow. My question to you, Rajat, is this. Even in Mr. Walte's case, who's an MLA, and I want to tell our viewers, 3-time Manipuri MLA, grievously assaulted in the heart of Imphal on the 4th of May, then flown to Delhi. None of the attackers have been identified and arrested. You see that most of these FIRs are against unknown persons. So people have not been arrested, and now 2.5 months have elapsed. So who's going to be caught? There are two parts of it. Where is the accountability?
Rajdeep should be handed over to the CBI. It's an important case because, on that day, a cabinet meeting was called. A lot of cookie MLAs were also part of that cabinet meeting, and all of them were advised not to go out on the street. Unfortunately, Pu Walte went out on the street and he was brutally attacked. Another thing that was mentioned, that he was given electric shocks. The medical report of RIMS hospital in Imphal claims that there is no such evidence an electric shock was given.
This was a claim by the family. This was the family's claim.
But you should have corrected by, looking for more evidences and corroborating your story, which you didn't do. You are a very senior journalist, Rajdeep.
I am asking you now, Rajat, you see, Rajat, the family has given their version. You are giving,
what kind of a message cookie brothers and sisters will get? They will.
Has he not been grievously assaulted? Whether it is electric shock or not, he was tortured and grievously assaulted, yes or no? The key is those responsible for it. Mr. Rajat Sethi, the limited point I'm asking you, those grievously who assaulted him, why are they not arrested?
The top of the order journalists, people like you should know how to do reporting in ethnic clashes. Everything. Once you say that something has happened without corroborating it, the sentiments, cookie people will get even more hurt. The reactions, there are painful lives at stake.
Rajat Sethi, I have been very careful in all my reporting on this. At no stage, I have given the family
reporting on that issue, and I'm just correcting because I'm duty bound to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
You have to the moot point.
Yes.
Coming back to the debate. I agree with Vrindaji that yes, there are very few evidences so far. The police administration, it has been accused that it has been 70 days, 80 days, but remember that the principal job of the police, paramilitary and the military, which is on the ground, is to ensure violence. There is still sporadic violence happening on all the areas where, the hill and the valley meet, the foothill areas.
Rajat, you didn't answer my question. I appreciate you didn't answer my question. It is now 2.5 months since the MLA's attackers. I'm giving that as an instance. There may be many others, of course. FIRs are being filed against unknown persons. And therefore, the lack of arrests, the lack of accountability as a result is troubling. Do you really believe, for example, now even in Mr. Walte's case, that the CBI entering it as the family wants will resolve it?
See, I can only pray to God that he recovers his health, and that is something which is of paramount importance. And if he can identify among the mob who were those faces who had attacked him, ultimately the entire justice system relies on evidences, on forensic evidences.
There was a PSO. There was a PSO who escaped. There was his PSO who escaped. He can identify them.
That is plain and simple. How can you build a case? So therefore, even in this, once this video surfaced, you clearly could spot every single individual in that mob. Otherwise, a mob means 1,000 people. How do you go around arresting 1,000 people when there are live operations happening? Even the armed forces, the India's military is finding it hard to control the violence on the streets. How can you imagine the Manipur police to be able to, go out collecting evidences? Right now, our Kruki brothers and sisters are not able to travel to Imphal, where the cases are registered. How will they go out and identify people and help the police to collect those evidences so that you can build a solid case before the courts. The courts will rely on those evidences, Rajdeep ji, you know that.
No, let me take that to ML Sharma.
CBI is going to investigate all of these things, and I believe all these cases should be brought out of Manipur so that there is confidence in both the Meiteis and the Kuki community. There have been 6,000 plus FIRs which have been filed, and due justice has to be given to all of these 6,000 FIRs. That's the limited point that I wanted to
Okay, you made 2 points which I want my 2 other guests, both Gladys who joins us and ML Sharma. You, Mr. Sharma, first. In a case like this, and several cases of assault, rape, most of them have taken place 2.5 months ago. The CBI is now stepping in. Is it too late to build a foolproof case to identify people in case of mass violence? We've seen it whether Delhi 84, Gujarat 2002, Mumbai 93, 92, 93 is very difficult to identify. Witnesses turn hostile, the case drags on, and eventually no one gets prosecuted or convicted.
Rajdeep ji, I have the good fortune of serving in Manipur Hills for a year and a half in long back, of course, 1976-77, and I know the topography of on the hills as well as the valley. Now, as far as your question about disappearance of evidence is concerned, well, this totally can't be ruled out, but please remember, investigation, if it's conducted by CBI, even at this belated stage, and I'm deliberately calling it belated stage, all these cases should have been entrusted to CBI much earlier. It is possible to collect credible evidence, if not against all perpetrators of these heinous crimes, against at least prominent amongst them. So therefore, I don't agree with those who take a very pessimistic view that everything is lost. Also, please remember that forensic evidence is only one part of investigation. Oral evidence is equally important, in fact more important in situations like this. Though my caveat I have already mentioned that everybody may not be identified, but some of them even now can be identified and a firm case can be made out against them. But after saying this, I would also say that these cases should not, and I repeat, should not be tried by the courts in Manipur. The trial should be shifted to a neighboring state. I have been to Silchar many times. In fact, I camped there in my days, earlier days. Silchar is the right place because you see, it's a kind of plain population, Bengalis and all. Tribal element is not there that much. And judges are also from the... So therefore, there will be more objectivity in the trials that are carried out in Silchar, and Silchar is not very far.
So you're
in
saying move the cases... You're saying move the cases out of Manipur, but I want to understand from you, Gladys, as someone who suffered. People close to you have suffered, Gladys. Are you satisfied now that the CBI is taking over some of these contentious cases and there is talk of taking them out of Manipur? Does that give you a sense of confidence, or do you believe it's too late?
I don't think anything is too late, and I believe if the video can be used to prove who are the perpetrator, Kuki Zhou doesn't have to go to Imphal to identify the perpetrator. The videos clearly shows who are involved in this violence. And I also believe that if Imphal, Manipur High Court is not accessible for Kuki Zhou, that we all know. Not only the High Court, airport, nothing in the valley is accessible to Kuki Zhou community. We all know that. Then a trial, a fair trial of outside Manipur, maybe Guwahati High Court, for the time, so that both the community will get fair trial. I think that is the next step. And also CBI inquiry can be done. Yes, we trust the CBI inquiry. At the same time, we also want to know who are in the CBI are the people of the cookies especially are consulted? Are they happy with the panel that is appointed by the government to give them justice? Because we should never forget the sentiment of the cookie people. We should never forget that.
No, but there will be sentiments, ma'am, of the Metes as well.
To bring
There'll be sentiments of Metes and cookies. The idea is to take the trial out of Manipur. The idea is to have a CBI inquiry. Therefore, the Manipur police cannot influence it. Let's be clear. One of the worries is the Manipur police is divided between cookies, Zomis and Metes. That's part of the problem.
Yes, that is the reason why I think both the parties should be consulted. Are they happy with the committee which is trying to help both of them? If they are yes, then no problem. And then also keeping the view of what our MLA have gone through. I personally was with him today. The amount of suffering he went through shows that the amount of brutality over him. Some say electric shock was given, some say it was not given. That is not the point. The point is a very strong, healthy MLA now lie in a vegetable state. Why not we wait for his statement? Why not we wish him well, because nobody can testify about himself than by himself. Why are we depending on other sources? Let's wait for him for good health. A person who is a victim himself is alive today. Let's give him the best medical care. Let's protect his life. It is very sad that a ruling MLA party right now, I feel he's abandoned in a small dingy house where safety is at stake. There is no security provided over there. And in fact, they don't even have enough money to take care. They have spent close to 40 lakhs. And I don't know how much the government is helping. I don't know. But I know their bills are
the Chief Minister's office, I just want, since I've been asked, the Chief Minister's office told me they gave 5 lakhs for the doctor's fee. For Mr. Valte, they will reimburse all his doctor's fees, what his son has now told me. But yes, he lives in a 2 BHK rented accommodation in Kailash Colony at the moment. That is also a reality that we have to live with, which I have informed the Chief Minister incidentally yesterday and told him, please move him into a better accommodation, which the Chief Minister has promised will be done. But ideally this should have happened much earlier is all I will say again. You see, a lot of this thing is happening only after the reports are coming out.
Much earlier. Yes, much earlier, and also anybody can walk in from the main gate. There was nobody checking who's going to his house, who's coming out. There was nobody checking, and the very sad thing is they just have one air condition, that also a window AC. There is no oxygen where if he needed, there is no nurses looking after him. His wife is looking after, his wife is not a trained nurse. Why are we not giving them, being a BJP MLA, why can't the party give him a Lutean house? I'm sure they have a facility like that. Why do his house have to rent such a shabby house? And we all are worried about his safety. Even safety in terms of emergency. Safety in terms of who is visiting him. Safety in terms of even money. I'm sure reimbursing is very nice word, very kind word. But why not deposit the money into their account so that they started hoping for a better medical care? Physiotherapy is expensive. And why not provide a full-time nurses? Why do his wife has to clean him? Today, I was wanting to pick him up from his bed. Why can't we talk such things rather than pointing out whether he's electric shock or not, whether the medical report from RIMS is correct or not, rather than focusing all those things? Why do we not take care of his physical health so that he himself will stand up and testify what exactly happened to him?
Gladys, those are very strong words that I echo. Before I come to you, Vrinda Rajat Sethi, since you raised the electric shock question, you heard what Gladys said. And that is true. Here the MLA who I interviewed earlier this week, the fact is he's living in a, not him, his family, he can't even speak. He's in a 2 BHK in Kailash Colony. He could be transferred to a VVIP bungalow. The VVIP bungalows, and the fact is no senior minister at the moment from Delhi has gone there. You know, I am accused by by BJP media cell of being a scavenger for going there. Ask them to go to Kailash Colony.
Correct. It is all factually incorrect.
What is factually incorrect?
The donor minister, Mr. Reddy, he himself had visited him. The state president The state president has visited him. The education minister, who's a cabinet minister, has visited him. The OSD, who is the also a visiting doctor, has been with them every single day. Rajdeep, you said that this story triggered the response. I am appalled that you bring in the story by putting in facts which you haven't even verified.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Rajat Sethi, are you telling me that he's not living in a 2 BHK in Kailash Colony? Are you denying that? Are you denying that the entire help is being provided by the family? That the family is doing his own physiotherapy?
Manipur Bhavan, Rajdeep, Manipur Bhavan was offered, but it is inconvenient for him too, because he requires medical attention at this stage. Manipur Bhavan was unfit. I mean, that was the first thing that was offered to him. There are no bungalows out here who are possibly where Valte could be shifted to, and I think that should be done. But you cannot come out and say, that your report triggered things. People have been helping him. People across communities have been reaching out to him, and there is pain even in the senior most cabinet leaders or the BJP MLAs.
Well, I would suggest that some of those... if there is the pain, please tell them to show the pain by going and meeting him once. Please tell them to go and show the pain by going and meeting him once. Whether it's the chief minister, or the ministers, they should be going to Kailash Colony. They are off parliament, they don't have to work. The parliament gets adjourned every day at 11:05, within 5 minutes. These ministers and MPs should be going, and he was, remember, originally a Congress MP, MLA as well. They should all be going to Kailash Colony and at least giving the wife of Mr. Valte a hug. But it is not just about Mr. Valte. It's about numerous others who have suffered. Vrinda Grover, I come back to it. Are we now, let's talk about how do we build this trust deficit. Because we can go on, did he get an electric shock? How was he tortured? Fact is, he was brutally assaulted. Fact is, a number of people have been brutally assaulted, not just him, women in particular. Number of women's stories have come out. Now, all of that is not lies. That is true. That's hard. There, people have suffered. Sorry, Vrinda, how do you bridge the trust deficit?
I think justice is one way of definitely bringing trust back amongst all people, regardless of which community they are. And therefore, the approach to justice, the manner in which justice will be done becomes very important. And I want to just pick on the entire controversy. What remains undeniable that a sitting member of the assembly was attacked brutally. That is the level of impunity that the mob is enjoying in Manipur. I don't want to get into the live tutorial you were just given about how to report, what to report. What is important here is that there is a controversy even after that. And very conveniently it was said, well, it's up to the victims to identify. It's up to them to go. They can't go to Imphal just now. I don't know. And Mr. M.L. Sharma, very, very seasoned investigator is with us, very senior police officer. The victims and witnesses don't travel to the police station. It is the job of the police to go where they are, particularly women. It's part of the Code of Criminal Procedure in this country. We don't need to hire Scotland Yard. Fortunately, because there has been a crisis of institutions for some time, particularly for independent, impartial investigation, the constitutional courts of this country have devised the method of special investigating teams. Let us remember, it is a special investigating team and a particular a transfer of a trial which got Bilkis Bano justice. It's a different matter that the accused are out. The convicts are on remission and released. So therefore, we know how impunity is to be cracked. Impunity will not go away because one case is transferred or one FIR or 6 FIRs are transferred, and definitely trust will not be restored. We know that violence is continuing even today. Mr. Sethi has actually told us that the police is unable and perhaps unwilling to control the law and order. He is saying even the paramilitary is unable to do it. So there is a very severe breakdown which has taken place in the state of Manipur for almost 3 months. Justice will have to be done in a way that is perceived by all, particularly the victims, as Gladys pointed out, to be a pathway that will restore their confidence in the system. Otherwise, we are looking at a very ruptured and divisive society. And that is going to be a problem. And that is exactly where we are today. So
There
we
are
will
two
need to think of how is this impunity is to be ruptured. Just 1 minute. Therefore, to say that, where the trial will be held is a different matter. There, as Mr. Emil Sharma again has pointed out, there are multiple ways in which the police can find out who was part of the mob. I don't have to go and identify. That is not how investigation is done. That is not on the basis of which charge sheets are filed. Fortunately, the police actually has other methods of doing their work. These are established investigating mechanisms.
Gladys, in conclusion, are you hopeful? Are you hopeful that we will see a better tomorrow? Look, justice and empathy, these are two words that I use. Empathy for victims, justice for victims. If they come, do you see cookies and metis coming together? That's really what we need at the moment.
If hope is not there, we wouldn't even be holding this debate. A life without hope is so useless. We are hopeful that some sort of solution will come, but at the moment, there was firing in last night, day before yesterday there was firing. First and foremost things is stop firing in a tribal land. That is the first thing if we want to move to the next level. Stop violence at one go. We have 60,000 plus army guys posted over there. Why
the
can't
violence
we stop
is
the
much
violence
less though. There are sporadic
That's
incidents of violence. The violence is much less though. But the violence is one part. The other part, as I said, is empathy and justice. Yes, 30 seconds you put your finger up, Rajat Sethi.
Rajdeep ji, since 20 honorable members of parliament are going there, I hope that they go there with some kind of a white paper where they believe, this could be a possible outcome. They should keep their cameras out of Manipur. It is not a photo ops opportunity. I believe they don't do politics there when they are there, and there is genuine interest in resolving the problems which have been languishing for the past 50 years in that state.
Yeah, but at the moment we are not looking at what happened 50 years ago. Rajat, with due regard, while I agree that it's a complex issue, at the moment we need empathy and justice. That's where the process must start.
We don't need cameras rolling out over there.
Okay, you don't need cameras, you believe, rolling out. I'll leave it there. Mr. Sharma, you want a final word? Are you confident that we will see large-scale prosecutions in these cases, convictions, or will this go like many cases of mass violence where the number of prosecutions are unfortunately too little? Honest answer.
If an investigator becomes pessimist at the very threshold of investigation, no case will be cracked.
Right.
As an investigator, and I had the good luck of knowing Vrindaji in regard to some cases. So, investigator has always to be positive. I am very confident that justice will prevail, and I also agree with Vrindaji that it is only justice which will reduce trust deficit between the communities. But only thing I want the CBI to guard against is this, that generally they depute junior officers, DYSPs and inspectors, and senior officers, unfortunately in my days it was not so, they keep sitting in the air-conditioned rooms and all. So I would, if I were the director CBI, I would depute 2 joint directors, one to handle exclusively sexual offence cases and another one to to handle murder cases or death cases. So if that happens and the additional director, 4 of them are there, he also camps there for 3-4 weeks, I think it is possible, and I say it again, it is possible to collect credible evidence against the perpetrators of crime.
And on
another
that
point,
very
hopeful,
briefly
I want to make is that apart.
I've run out of time, Mr. Sharma.
I would also say.
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I would also say that the whole controversy has been triggered off by the judgment of the local High Court, Manipur High Court. I would also, if I were an authority, I would go to the Supreme Court and oust the jurisdiction of the Manipur House Court and confer this jurisdiction on the Guwahati High Court. These are the things which need to be done.
Okay, let me leave it there, Mr. Sharma. As I said, we live in hope. Umeed pe duniya kayam hai. And we hope, and the real reason that we hope is that Manipur is a beautiful land of this country. We do not want to see it scarred in the way it is. I would love to see Gladys and her Meitei friends being able to bridge that divide, that trust deficit that exists at the moment. For that, justice is critical. Thank you all very much for joining me here on the news today. Now, as was suggested in that discussion, sporadic incidents of gunfights are still being reported in Manipur. The security forces have created buffer zones to separate areas where Meiteis and Kuki Zomi communities live. Ashutosh Mishra with tonight's ground report.
यहाँ पर जैसे ये किस तरह के बॉम्ब्स हैं? ये यहाँ पर जो मिले हैं, ये बॉम्ब्स किस तरह के हैं?
This is must be improvised kind of mortar cells. It has been landing here quite a bit. So here also, as you just seen, one bomb
that has stuck. It's still alive.
Yeah, it's still live. It has not exploded. So we have called the bomb squad of Assam Rifle Kumaon Regiment, and they are coming here soon to dispose the bomb.
How many bombs were fired toward this side?
Bombs, a huge number. Because it's improvised kind of bombs. So.
And where was it fired from? From which side?
Bombs have been fired from this Haikon side in Churachandpur.
Which are the Kuki-dominated areas?
Yeah. So.
As the centre now intervenes to ensure peace prevails in Manipur, all I see at several pockets where there are the conflict between two communities. Now the buffer zone has been drawn, and all this buffer zone is now being guarded either by the army or the CAPF. There you see in the Bishnupur area where the Meitei and the Kuki communities are directly in conflict with each other, and they are literally in each other's firing range. This is how the army has been deployed, with a massive deployment of other CAPF personals, and there is a massive buffer zone has been drawn. So besides few meters there, you have a land which is dominated by the Kuki community, other side is the Meitei. So all you see, since they fall in each other's 180-degree firing range, there have been almost everyday intermittent firing, sometime low intensity, sometime higher intensity. And worst is when the local mortars using the pumping gun, those are fired upon each other. That has also led to death of innocent civilians. Several bombs which were fired towards the Meitei villages, they literally teared apart those metal rooftops. And here you see, literally, this explains the furious bombing that was happening here. It's around 4 to 5 inches deeper this part. This looks the bigger, the pumping gun fire impact that was here. All you see, mostly these portion of the walls literally damaged. This is one portion of the house. Now if I take you to the other side, there was an innocent child who was sleeping right here in the night, and you see most of these walls are literally damaged. It's a huge impact of constant firing, high intensity firing of bullets, sophisticated weapons, even the bombings. And there was a 18-19-year-old boy who was sleeping here. When the Pompi bomb fell down here, because of the impact, he was severely injured, taken to the hospital, but he could not sustain to the injuries, and he finally died. To ensure peace in the region, Central is now deploying huge number of army and the armed forces, the CAPF. However, the situation in the conflict area in the state of Manipur has really vulnerable pictures. Number of these shells explains how the violence and the tension continues. There is no end to the intermittent firing, sometime low intensity, sometime highest, and sometime it reaches peak as more than 12 hours in the region. More than the bullets this time. Now even the improvised blast also taking place in the conflict zone. The situation is really vulnerable. The state is in turmoil. At conflict zone in Manipur with Sanjay Kumar, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
Manipur remains on the edge. What also remains on the edge is our parliament. The deadlock persisting over a discussion on Manipur between the government and the opposition parties there. Now the no confidence motion against the Modi government likely to be discussed on the 7th and 8th of August. Sources saying Prime Minister will be present during the discussion, will respond to it. But in a big boost to the Modi government, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy's party, YSRCP, which has a substantial number of MPs in both houses, has decided to back the NDA both during the no confidence vote and the controversial Delhi Services Bill. The party has 22 MPs in the Lok Sabha, 9 in the Rajya Sabha. I spoke earlier to the YSRCP parliamentary party leader, Vijay Sai Reddy. Listen in. And joining me on that political breaking news that's coming in is the parliamentary party leader of the YSRCP, Mr. Vijay Sai Reddy joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Vijay Sai Reddy. Is it very clear that your party, YSRCP, will now back the Modi government when the opposition moves a no confidence motion, and you will support the Modi government on the Delhi Services Ordinance Bill? You are with the Modi government on both?
Rajdeep, there are two issues. The first one is the National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Ordinance 2023. YSRCP feels that there is no violation of federal structure. Ordinance does not violate the federal structure of the constitution because Delhi is not a full-fledged state, it is only quasi-state, and does not have the features of a typical state like any other states in India. Secondly, the presence of the center is very much needed for protecting the national interest. We sincerely feel that Delhi, though it is elected by the people of Delhi, citizens of Delhi or residents of Delhi, it belongs to entire 140 crores of population of India.
Right.
And every Indian citizen will have an interest in Delhi because it's a national capital. Therefore, the critical infrastructure and security and land issues and other important issues are to be with the center. And the practice of, even we can compare this with that of the practices in other countries also. For example, in Washington, D.C., it is only mayor who takes the local decisions and not it is only the federal government which takes the constitutional decisions. And this article is in tune with the Article 239AA of the Constitution, which gives a special status to Delhi as a union territory with a legislative assembly and allows the parliament to make the legislation on the matters that are normally within the executive domain of the states, such as services also.
And what about the no confidence motion?
Further, I have to tell you one point. This does not violate the Supreme Court judgment also. The Supreme Court has merely held that Delhi government has legislative and executive powers over the services, but it did not bar the parliament to make the laws on the same subject. This is very important point. And further, it is consistent with the Article 239AB also of the Constitution, which empowers the President to make the regulations for peace, progress and good governance.
Okay, so you are clearly therefore
coming to the no confidence motion.
Go ahead, sir.
Coming to the no confidence motion, at this point of time, when there is a crisis in a particular state, Manipur, all the opposition parties should come together and support the center because there are neighboring countries, because it's a bordering state, though it is a small state, and our neighboring countries are not very cooperative with us. They have their own evil plans. At this critical juncture, it is the responsibility of entire opposition and all the states also.
So there you have it. YSRCP deciding that on the floor of the parliament, they will go with the Modi government. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll turn to our ground report. Mumbai. It's raining and the rains are wreaking havoc. How is the city coping up? We'll tell you in a moment. You're watching the news today. News without the noise.
Several villages in Turbang areas were burned in the ethnic clashes, the violence and all. I see only the footprints, everything that burned to these ashes. They blame for everything that is happening here to the Cookie government.
We are only defending ourselves.
There is a literally line of this area towards the Cookie side where you have a huge number of bunkers. No one could ever imagine that in a state, in the same country, in the same district, we will ever see such situation which has become a battlefield. And I could say this is a war zone in Manipur.
Grounded in journalism, on the ground reporting, only on India Today TV.
We're reaching the end of July, but the rains are showing no signs of letting up. From Telangana to Maharashtra, heavy rainfall across India causing havoc, with alerts issued in several states for the weekend. Flooding and flash floods are expected, causing loss of life and damage to infrastructure in several parts of the country. The IMD has issued a red alert in states including Telangana, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala for the weekend. Mumbai in particular is experiencing rainfall over the last 24 hours, and many roads in low-lying areas are submerged. Residential societies under knee-deep water. Saurabh Vakhtania has tonight's ground report.
A few hours of rain, and this is what Mumbai turns into. This road connects Vasai East and West and Nalasopara. Beneath this water are treacherous potholes.
हर साल का हम लोग परेशान हो गए गड्ढों में से गाड़ियां निकालनी पड़ रही है ये देखिए क्या हाल हो रहा है हम लोग
Residential colonies in the area in knee-deep water. Mumbaikars say it's an annual ritual, but what happens when it becomes a monthly ritual?
2 days ago, water had gone from the house. But the entire area was still, water was stagnant and accumulated in the compound. But due to heavy rains past 2 days, the water has come back into the house.
Lot of furniture must have
damaged. There was a lot of problems. The furniture have all been spoiled. My divan is broken. And there was another table which was there. I had to throw that out.
Many families affected have shifted to upper floors.
Most of them have left the area from here. Those who have got relatives and people around were staying on a higher ground, higher floors, have shifted from the place.
Some people are staying on terrace as well?
Yeah, well, there are some of them who are staying on the terrace also.
घर में पूरा पानी भरा हुआ है ग्राउंड में.
उनके फर्नीचर भी खराब?
हाँ, फर्नीचर वगैरह खराब हो गया है, सामान कुछ रहता है, कोई ऊपर शिफ्ट कर लेता है.
तो अभी जो जिनके ग्राउंड फ्लोर के अंदर पानी भरा हुआ है वो लोग कहाँ रह रहे हैं?
एक फैमिली तो मतलब हमारे इधर सोने को वगैरह आती है और दूसरे कोई रिलेटिव के वहाँ पर गए.
Residents here say they've been living like this for 10 days now. They're wary of an outbreak of diseases.
Look at the situation inside this particular society. The water has gone inside the ground floor. Lot of furnitures of the residents over here have been damaged. You can see the furniture lying over here. Several people have left their home and they are staying at different places. In fact, let me tell you that some of the people in fact are living on the terrace of this particular area, because here you can see on both the sides of the road completely waterlogged. In fact, the water going into the ground floor of the residential building over here. And the people over here are clearly telling us that this situation is persisting for the last several years. With camera person Raju Revanka, this is Saurabh Vakhtania in Vasai for India Today.
Some things will never change in Mumbai. Just about time to leave you tonight with our good news today story that comes from Bihar. Champaran Mutton, a short film, has reached the Oscar semi-finals. The film is in the race for the Students' Academy Award in the narrative film category. Champaran Mutton is the only Indian film to reach the semi-finals this year. We wish it well. We wish you well. Stay safe. Good night. Shubhratri. Jai Hind. Namaskar. Have Champaran Mutton. Bye for now.
Champaran Mutton, directed by student of Film and Television Institute of India, Ranjan Kumar, is in the race for the Student Academy Awards. The film has made it to the semi-finals. Falak, an actor from Bihar, plays the lead role in the movie.
स्टूडेंट फिल्म है और इसकी जो डायरेक्शन जिन्होंने किया है उनका नाम है रंजन कुमार और ये हमारी फिल्म है। हम लोग बहुत अपने आप को खुशनसीब समझते हैं कि ये ऑस्कर्स में नॉमिनेशन में गई और अब वो सेमीफिनाले में आ गई है।
Champaran Mutton is the only film from India to have reached the semi-finals. This short film is a story of the people of Bihar and their honesty towards relationship.
इसमें दिखाया गया है कि कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल जॉब्स वगैरह जो होती हैं उसमें लोगों की आर्थिक हालत बहुत सही होती है, लेकिन लॉकडाउन के बाद बहुत लोगों की कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल जॉब चली गई थी। तो उसके बाद एक मिडिल क्लास फैमिली अपना जो डे टू डे लाइफ की नीड्स होती हैं कैसे उसको स्ट्रगल करता है, उसी बीच एक उसकी वाइफ से उसको इतना प्यार है कि उसकी छोटी छोटी ज़रूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए कैसे स्ट्रगल करता है, तो इसी की समझिए की पूरी कहानी है।
Falak's film will compete with 16 other movies from across the world in the Oscars. Bureau Report, India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 27 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 26 and minimum 22 degrees. Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 33 and minimum 27 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 27 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 27 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 26 and minimum 22 degrees.
A few years ago, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook pivoted from Facebook to Meta. You were drawing out this grand vision of a metaverse, whereas the real revolution seems to have been in artificial intelligence. While you have been working in that sphere, would you accept that Meta was caught off guard? You were building one castle in the air, which is still looking like a castle in the air. You're moving incrementally towards your vision of Meta, whereas the real game seems to have been another one where you're now trying to catch up, but would you accept being caught off guard?
No, not really, on several counts. Firstly, you can't build the so-called metaverse. What does the metaverse mean? The metaverse basically means like a sort of immersive internet. So instead of looking at something on your phone, you're actually wearing glasses and you're communicating with people in avatar or even eventually in hologram form. You can't build that without AI. I think that approach to open innovation is something we've always believed in, and I think will really help going forward as well.
Co-powered by the new Kia Seltos, the badass reborn. Extra safe polycab green wire.
A new record of Amarnath Yatris in Kashmir.
नमस्ते दर्शकों, हमारी अमरनाथ की यात्रा बहुत सारे यात्री आ गए हैं अमरनाथ की गुफा जो कि वहाँ दिख रही है हमें वहाँ की दर्शन करने तो चलिए हम भी करते हैं थैंक यू जी हर हर महादेव हर हर महादेव हर हर महादेव
Tazia procession in Srinagar after 34 long years.
बस आज तो बेहतरीन कदम है इंशाल्लाह ऐसा ही होना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट को नहीं चाहिए कि इन जुलूसों पर पाबंदी लगाए क्योंकि ये कोई ऐसा जुलूस नहीं है जो किसी के खतरे में हो ये पूरा अमन जुलूस है
Will Kashmiri Pandits be able to return home? Is this the defeat of Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror? Naya Kashmir rising, that's our top focus on India First.
So there are major developments that are taking place. No stone pelting in the valley, no buns, no hartals, no hurriyat, no peddling of Pakistan's agenda, at least for now, at least not openly. Kashmir does appear to be changing after modification of Article 370. But is it too premature to declare victory on Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror? Many argue that sleeper cells remain active and pro-Pakistan elements, or these radical Islamists, they're yet to be completely weeded out. Election process is yet to take place. And the biggest test of Kashmiriyat, the return of Kashmiri Hindus to their homeland. Will we see that happen? Has Kashmir defeated that terror mindset? Will Kashmir return to its Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, or is that a one-way stream? We will find out. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines on India First. Central Bureau of Investigation files 6 FIRs in Manipur violence case. Fresh FIR to be filed on the gang rape charge. Sources say 6 rounds of talks between Kuki and Meitei groups have taken place. 3 accused students granted anticipatory bail in the Udupi college controversy. BJP takes to the streets in protest, demands an impartial probe from the Siddaramaiah government. BJP intensifies Mission South 2024. Union Minister Amit Shah and Tamil Nadu BJP President K Annamalai flag off a 6-month-long Mann Makkal padyatra in Tamil Nadu's Rameshwaram. Delhi University student murdered in broad daylight, allegedly by a jilted lover. Body left in a pool of blood in a South Delhi park. 1 accused arrested. Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal blames the Lieutenant Governor and the centre for lack of security. Former US President Donald Trump faces a new charge in the classified documents investigation. Trump now accused of asking a staffer to erase CCTV footage from his Florida estate. The Muharram procession was taken out on its traditional route in Srinagar after a gap of more than 30 years. It had stopped when Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terrorists had spread their terror tentacles across the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir. Is this a sign of return to normalcy in Jammu and Kashmir? Amarnath Yatra saw more than 3,69,000 pilgrims so far, and there is still 1 month to go. More than this number is much more than the last numbers. The numbers are also expected to go higher. This is a big boost to religious tourism in Kashmir. But these are only signs. The litmus test. Will the litmus test be the return of Kashmiri Hindus to their homeland? Ashraf Wani brings you our top story on India First.
History is created in Jammu and Kashmir. On the 27th day of the Amarnath Yatra, the number of devotees has reached close to 3.69 lakhs and broke previous year's record, which was 3.65 lakh. Despite the bad weather, the enthusiasm among the devotees is high. Badminton players Saina Nehwal, Bollywood actress Sara Ali Khan were among the pilgrims who took the yatra.
आज मुझे बहुत ब्लेस्ड फील हो रहा है कि मुझे एक्चुअल में दर्शन हो गए हैं मम्मी के साथ एंड आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक अमरनाथ श्राइन बोर्ड और ऑब्वियसली जो मिलिट्री वाले इतने सारे हमारी मदद करते हैं वहाँ पे तो बहुत ही अच्छे से हो गए एंड वेरी वेरी सेटिस्फाइड.
The government has pulled out all stops to make the yatra a success. The Border Roads Organization launched Project Beacon and widened the roads, installing strong handrails and railings. Security was tightened after the 2019 Pulwama terrorist attack. Road opening parties are deployed as part of a multi-tier security grid in and around places where pilgrims would gather.
the Shrine Board of Amarnath and J&K government has made elaborate arrangements this year for the Amarnath Yatra. That is why not only more than 3 lakh pilgrims have already performed the Amarnath Yatra, but in fact there are hopes that this year